I gotta get out of here. I think I'm gonna lose it.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
You get your kick saying something like that, man.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the is that?
Rename, ramble about the games we play, fighting virtual battles till the break of day. ABF and friends breaking chains and lock, discussing culture wars, we're off the clock. Off the hip we fire, talking truth to the wire tires. Games and wars we won't conspire, off the hip we light the fire. George Street warriors fighting left and right, pixels clashing like a neon light. Won't miss in the code trying to find, taking a stand for the uncaged mind. Off the hip we fire, talking truth till wires tires. Games and wars we won't conspire, off the hip we light the pyre. In the virtual trenches standing tall, pixel blocks rise just to fall. Culture clash and break the wall, podcast echoes free us all. Controllers clutch, knuckles white, ABF and friends in the late night fight. Virtual realms where freedom's tight, battling wolves feel with all our might. Off the hip we fire, talking truth till wires tires. Games and wars we won't conspire, off the hip we light the pyre.
Hello and welcome to episode 22. Gotta love the Fed Boys exploding in the intro as usual. They were on our radar, right? Did you hear that one today? I heard that one.
Oh yeah.
Say the line.
Nerd Slap, thank you for the intro again. You snuck the common nerd in there.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun to make, as always. I love doing it. If anybody else wants something like that done, let me know.
Ooh, it's for hire.
Nerd Slap, that was incredible. Did you know that we just watched that episode last night on our Doctor Who stream?
Did you really?
Yeah,
I
I
did not
swear
know
to
that.
God, we watched the Pandorica open last night on our Doctor Who stream. That's that is probably my favorite Matt Smith speech. That's one of my favorite Doctor speeches.
One of my favorite
worked
60
out
seconds of Doctor Who ever, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Like we went back, we rewinded and watched it again last night because it's such a fucking good speech.
It's just one man getting wide with the entire universe.
Dude,
That
it
is
was so
awesome.
good. That was so
What we have lost.
Mhm.
I know.
Rest in peace.
Were you
Doctor
read
Who's
that
not
with your
dead, it's
intro,
just
nerd?
regenerating. Oh, what? No, you want me to do an intro? I don't
No,
know.
no,
I
I'm
don't know
sorry.
how they just fucking
There's two
do it.
nerds. I'm gonna say
Oh, there
Nerd
we go.
Slap
I'm
and
confused.
Jesse. That's what I'm gonna.
There
We were
you
joking
go.
about that earlier because we know several nerds now. Like, what would happen if we got them all on the same stream? Like 5 different.
Oh, man.
Nerds It would be like that.
Yeah, here's one right here. Get Nerd Wars in there too.
You have to have
Do
a
it.
combat for the ultimate nerd, just like they did with what was it, John or whatever? Several
Oh,
years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, make it American
Oscars or
Gladiator
whatever.
style.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
I loved that show. God, that show.
I know, dude. I introduced that to my my nephews and my son. It was amazing that we just kept we want. By the way, either your favorite is Nitro or you're gay. All right, Nitro is the shit.
Nerd Wars, you know where the invite is.
I was more into the girls in that series, but hey, you do you.
It has to be perfect if we get Nerd Wars in here, because if we put him in the middle bottom row, we get a trifecta of nerds.
Yeah, we
Well,
hit
that's-
trifecta,
oh, man.
That's
Nerd
gonna
Trinity.
connect. That's gonna. They're gonna win that Connect 4 or Connect 3.
It'll be like the end of the Fifth Element. It'll just open up, and then we'll have a super weapon. It'll just kind of go right up the middle.
The super
super
nerd.
nerd.
Yes.
Dude, that would be so. Well, we all like form into like a Voltron. or, like,
Voltron. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You got me and Nagrinol on the bottom. We can be the hands.
Or the legs.
Ninja, what's up?
The legs.
Well, with the legs now.
Yeah.
But if we get the other nerd in, that's when we form.
Oh yeah, we switch positions and we like go up to the hands.
Right.
And Mo becomes the head because he gives great.
What?
He just wants to.
Don't want to know how you know that.
Probably because the size of my head would fit on Voltron and not look out of place.
Oh,
I have a giant melon.
Norman, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, and I'd like to use my intro to share a little announcement here that was posted a couple hours ago. Sharing my screen. The one and only Dark Knight Detective himself, Batman, is getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame next week for his
that's hilarious.
something birthday. I think 85th. Something like that.
Interesting.
And I just
where are the other stars going?
Go like the one down to the one in the comments. Absolutely wild that Batman has a star on the Walk of Fame, but Christian Bale and Ben Affleck are still waiting.
You'd think it'd be like Bruce Wayne getting the star. He's what everybody knows.
Well, because Batman's the real identity, though. Bruce Wayne's the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
The man behind the mask. Yeah, other than that, I've spent the whole weekend binge watching a shit ton of Top Gear and Grand Tour because of the finale last week, and I've just been sucked into a whirlpool. Just watched the beach buggies in Namibia just there, rolling through the desert. Awesome show, really is. Top 3 entertainers on television by far.
Hey, real quick, just to give a little bit of context to anybody who may not know, as far as the Hollywood Walk of Fame goes, a couple of fictional characters that do have stars are Alvin and the Chipmunks, Big Bird, Bugs Bunny, Donald Duck, Hermit, Godzilla, Pee Wee Herman, Mickey Mouse, and there's several others.
James Bond.
That makes sense.
Pee Wee Herman jacked off in a theater, and Mickey Mouse jacked off all over Star Wars fandom.
And
because Lassie also
has a Lassie, who was a boy. They gender swapped Lassie. I was in the theater when I lived in Sarasota. I had to go watch Twilight, the second movie with my wife. I was in the movie theater that he decided to throttle himself with.
Oh no!
So I didn't know. I hated that movie. It drove me nuts, and I couldn't be sarcastic. So I had like a vein popping out of my head. And then I did some research. They're like, "Oh yeah, you like somebody that I work with." They're like, "Yeah, no, that's the one that Pee Wee Herman did his thing in." And I'm like, "That's awesome."
Different kind of theater.
So I have that notch on my belt. Yeah. They actually renovated it. It was a nice theater. So I was like, "What?" And I looked it up, and I'm like, "Yeah, that was a theater."
Yeah. Sam Bevy was upset when they did that because that used to be his favorite place to go on Friday nights when he was lonely.
Mo, how would you like to do your intro after that?
The secret word is nerd. Just been fucking it. This week I'm gonna be salty AF. All right, I'm gonna be maltier than the Maldi over here. I'm moving this week. All right, so if I look like a transient, it's because I am. I'm going to moving to another house, but it'll be great. I actually won't have to have this green screen behind me sitting in a garage sweating my ass off. I'll actually be able to have something, where I can show off actually all my nerdy wares. So I'm looking forward to it. But other than that, it's a pleasure to be streaming again with the Common Nerd. Hail, sir. Always fun. Hopefully the host doesn't pass out on us on this one. But
where's the fun in that?
I know, right?
Drink.
It's only my second stream ever. This guy's got hash on a needle. He's rolling stuff, and I'm like, hi. And I'm only 3/4 of the way through a bottle. I'm like, this isn't uncomfortable at all. So, it's always a pleasure. The fellowship runs far and wide and is as true as can be, and that's why I love doing all these streams where everything intersects all the time. So, hail the chat, hail Common Nerd, and hail everybody else just passing through. We hope you have a good time.
Nice. And we finally landed ourselves the Common Nerd on this show. How have you been, sir?
Good. Busy, making content all the time. Had my morning stream this morning. I just was hanging out with a couple of my Rumble buddies that I met in Vegas at the meetup. So shout out to everybody that helped sponsor that. Because I was hanging out with Fused and Pudge TV over there, which those are the guys that they got like Fused got the chance to go to like the Rumble Creator House and do all that kind of stuff. And so they're over there fighting the culture war kind of on Rumble exclusively, which is awesome. So those guys were great. That was a lot of fun talking. It's just like I love these panel shows because like for one, I don't have to host, which is my favorite part. And so, but it's like one of these things. It's like this stuff is so much fun. It's so much fun to be able to talk to people and like talk about all this kind of stuff. And we could have gone all night, just like I'm sure this show will end up being the exact same way. We can go all fucking night doing this stuff. So those guys were a blast. But yeah, cranking out content. Like because I was double booked today. I had 2 different shows that I had to do. I only got out 3 videos today, 1 on each one of the channels. So, but man, my gamer channels freaking like I had a video go like freaking viral over the weekend. Apparently, Sweet Baby Ink is still a thing to talk about because that shit fucking off. And that was great. So it's been a lot of fun. We're having a lot of wins right now in the culture war. A lot of things are going
sure are.
for us. So I'm having a grand old time. Like I'm just here documenting the disastrous dumpster fire of watching like Woke and the cult die in real time. Like it's just
making a scrapbook.
Glorious. Oh yeah. Well, that's what I'm making videos for. I'm documenting all of this stuff. This is great. Every one of your failures, I'm going to document in a lot of very much wonderful things. Yeah, that's fun. You've got a copy. Yes, biggest video game disaster in history. Biggest video game. Oh, look at you. No. Oh my God, you went hardcore.
Wait a minute. Wait a
that.
fucking minute. Is that the Duke right there that you put up in the fail wall? You son of a bitch.
No, this isn't a fail wall. This is just a. I need to order more of these hooks so I can put it on the other wall. I put them there for now.
I love the Duke. I'm one of those.
I'm just showing them. I'm just showing off all the things here just for now.
All right. I just want to make sure that's not in a fail. That's one of the most underrated controls, right? Sorry. I digress.
Dude, and that's one of those things too, is like we were talking about a little bit of that earlier because it's great to see that shit. I mean, we are literally watching Woke die in real fucking time. You know what I mean? Because think about this. Think about something like this too. Ubisoft already has its investors coming for its ass right now. There's a good possibility that next year, Ubisoft, okay, responsible for Assassin's Creed and everything else, might not even be the same company next year. Like we're going to be completely and totally taken over by outside investors because of the way things work with French law. Sucks to be a socialist. And so it's like it's going to be fucking glorious to watch because Ubisoft was desperate this year. They were banking on Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows to put them back in the black because they have been bleeding money for like the last 4 years. And guess what? That ain't gonna work out for them. That dog is not gonna hunt. So we are literally watching the collapse of Woke in real time. I mean, look at what Disney's done with all of that kind of stuff, with the billions of dollars that they've lost, that now they're Marvel's like, okay, like literally they according to Chris Gore, which it sure as hell seems like that they fired all of these Woke producers. Like we know Agatha's going to be trash. They know Agatha's going to be trash because that's why they're not letting the embargoes out until literally when it premieres on Disney Plus. No reviewer who got an early access to Agatha can release their review until after the show has officially premiered on Disney Plus. Like they know they're hurting. Yeah. Oh, they know it's going to be hot fucking garbage. They know it's going to be hot fucking garbage. So they realize they fucked up. They realize they've collapsed. Just the real question is, how many of these companies are we going to watch that are true believers and will end up going down with the ship? That's going to be what's fascinating to see, because I still I'm a big Warhammer 40K fan, and I love all of that kind of stuff. And I've invested probably more money than I should have in plastic crack. And in situations where that's a company that is much like a game studio. This is kind of the comparison I've given, because people are like, oh, they're down for the cult. They're screwed. It's all over. Da, da, da. Games Workshop is in the same financial bracket as what an independent video game studio is in. How many of those have we watched collapse over the last few years? What happened to that studio that was responsible for the I'm having a brain, the Saints Row remake, right? Where are they? That's right.
But I imagine the Games Workshop's about to get a big payday with whatever they're doing with Amazon. Regardless of whether this series gets made or not, there's definitely going to be money exchanging hands, whether it goes through or not.
Well, here, let's get through intros really quick.
Yes.
Multi, what have you been up to?
Pissing people off, getting simps to try to beat my ass.
Oh, hell
If
yeah.
only they were bulletproof. Other than that, yeah, we've been doing a couple of videos for the GCA have actually been kind of taking off, and most of the time it's when I feel like I'm not trying to piss people off. I'm just giving my own actual take, and I'm actually going a little bit soft on them, but it just pisses people the fuck off.
Yeah.
And those videos have been like exploding. So I'm doing that, but also got our tickets, our RSVPs to San Antonio, the SpaceCon Nerdrotic meetup. Also, I have a +1. Everyone else that I know is going with us is taken care of. So if anyone, I don't know if they're sold out or not. If anyone is planning on going but couldn't reserve a ticket, just meet me there. I have a +1.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah, I've got my ticket. I've got my tickets for that too. So I'll be fundraising over the next month and a half to get me and my wife to San Antonio for that one. So yeah, I'm hoping I can make it to that one too.
I wish I could
that one's a
join
lot
you guys.
closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do too.
Hell yeah.
Can't make it this year.
Yeah.
I definitely
Magrinal.
can make it.
What's going on?
You got your headset
yeah.
working.
Yeah, now it's working. See, I had to like update a whole bunch of stuff yesterday because OBS
Yeah.
stopped working randomly.
Yeah, Nagano
Gave
was
me an
having a
error.
full fight with his computer yesterday. It was quite
Oh
fun.
yeah, my computer's lucky to be alive right now. That's for sure. But yeah, started streaming on Kick and YouTube. I did like a 20-hour stream on Saturday, and then somehow
Madman.
woke up on Sunday, tried to stream again, and everything was broken. I looked up a few videos, downloaded some stuff. So then broke my mouse. I had to look up another video to fix that. I had to roll through the update to. Anyway, now I'm here.
The joys of owning a PC.
Nagano's
I
bedroom's
may-
just a war zone at this point.
And I got
Well,
tons of
I
poison
may or
ivy
may-
too, so I'm like, I'm probably just gonna stay off camera. I can't even sit still.
You got the fuck, dude.
You got monkeypox again, dude?
I was gonna say, what are you like 12? How do you get like a massive amount of poison?
How do I get poison ivy? Because I have to dig through dirt to find property corners for my job. So
Oh man.
couldn't avoid digging through a whole bunch of poison ivy.
All right. Now I feel bad for
Well,
making
just
fun
a
of a
hammer.
hardworking man.
Well, he's like vlogging the whole thing, like wearing a wife beater so that he can send it to girls that he follows.
Stella in hand.
This is a real man's work. Don't you want a real man?
He's like
Yeah,
TikTok
perhaps-
dancing as he's doing it.
Don't feel bad.
Perhaps you
Let me carry my
shouldn't
phone
stop,
around
drop,
with
and
me.
roll with the jock strap on. That would probably help you not get like poison ivy. So
Oh.
Well, on that gay bombshell, Hayden, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Made a video with Malty the other day for the GCA, and I made my own video on Saturday that just broke 650 views, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for my channel, man, it's going
Hell
pretty
yeah.
good.
Hell yeah, dude.
Dude, if you can get more views than you have subscribers, it's always a win.
True, very true. Yeah, I've almost doubled my subscriber count's been going up, and people seem to like the video because I touched on the Probably Monsters company and how they're using a lot of bridge language, and that's the company that was the head umbrella company for Firewalk Studios, and the only game they've ever put out is one that was pulled off the shelves after 7 days. So yeah, it's a fun video. I did a lot of research for that one, but yeah, other than that, just working at the moment and trying to find the time to make some more content. But once again, I'm here and I love hanging out with you guys. So let's get into it.
Let's go.
Nice. I am going to show our first story here, and this is going to set off Jesse.
Well, that's it. Unfortunately, in this environment of increased censorship, we here at guns.com will no longer be posting on YouTube. We've spent a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort producing over 2,000 videos, almost 400,000 subscribers, 120 million views, 4.4 million viewing hours, and we've unfortunately received a threat from YouTube that they will unpublish our channel if we get one more strike. We've had a couple of videos removed. We've had some times where we're unable to post due to unclear policy changes at YouTube. We even had a post on our backup channel removed with a video reviewing 3 firearms from our inventory that are over 100 years old. You've heard the term moving the goalpost. At this point, we're not even sure there are goalposts. We're on the field trying to kick a field goal blindfolded. We don't even know where the ball is. For those reasons, we've decided that we're going to move platforms. We will now be posting on platforms like Rumble and X, platforms that respect our First and Second Amendment. We understand that YouTube is a private organization and they can do what they want, but it's also a free market and we can patronize people who will respect our God-given rights. We here at guns.com will continue to work hard, spend a lot of effort to produce the best content that we can for the Second Amendment community. And for those reasons, you'll find us on platforms like Rumble, like X, doing the same thing, because we here at guns.com will remain unapologetically American. Well,
so people keep asking, ABF, why don't you do gun stuff on YouTube and blah, 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 blah. I can't even touch these guns on live stream without getting in trouble. So, but yeah, he's got a similar gun wall to mine behind him. He's got M16A1 back there, I see, and some Palmetto specials, some 1911s, and various pistols, AK.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just YouTube is not a safe place to get to have a gun tubing channel.
No, and this is one of those things where this has been the problem for a while, and it's one of those situations where like because like I watch Demolition Ranch. I like Matt a lot. He was like my first introduction into like the gun tube sphere, and now I've got like a few of the other guys and Brandon Herrera that I watch, and like some of those other guys too. And they were always talking about that, how like the rules were changed, and like the reason why Matt had to like change his format for Demolition Ranch. Now it's like it's expensive. Can this blow up this? Da 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 da. Instead of just shooting shit like they always used to do and showing off cool new guns, And it's one of those things. It's like what always bothered me about any of those guys is I was always like in the comments section, like, why aren't you posting your content over on Rumble? I know you've got a channel over there. I've seen it. I follow your channel over there. Why aren't you trying to build that alternative platform? Why aren't you trying to build that? And now they're all faced with the harsh reality that I knew was a possibility from the very beginning. The reason why I always uploaded to Rumble, the reason why I always live streamed to Rumble, the reason why I always did all of that kind of stuff, because they will take this from you at any time. And the gun, I mean, obviously we saw this happen to other people before they came for the gun tubers, but this is one of the things. They don't want that stuff on their platform, but they know it makes them money. So they will make it as impossible for you to do as you can while still saying, well, technically we allow it. But just see these kind of restrictions, to see this kind of nonsense happen over and over again. It's why I've always said, be as many places as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Remind all your friends, remind all of your subscribers, remind all your followers that, hey, yeah, we might primarily hang out on YouTube, or we might primarily hang out on Twitch or whatever it is, but you need to be supporting these alternative platforms. You need to at least create an account over there, because if something happens to us, like what it did with me, where I just wake up one morning and my entire fucking channel's gone, all these years of work, it's just fucking poof without any kind of warning, without any kind of recourse. It's just gone because they just flipped the switch. And guess what? I don't have a platform big enough to holler about this kind of things and get somebody to like legitimately look at my stuff and overturn this, and that's why you got to do that kind of stuff.
Do you guys know what the restrictions are for gun sales? Because when I'm like, literally the lightest gun shimming I do is like, I'll watch a video that goes, here's guns from these movies or this game, and we're going to find the real world comparison and show them off to you.
If you're touching a real life gun, even a fake gun, the automatic algorithm will stop you if you're in a live stream, because it'll think that you're a active live streaming shooter.
Right. So how does that pertain to videos then?
For videos, YouTube has a separate policy that says you can't play with like high capacity, and now full auto is off limits, even though that's legal if you have NFA weapons. This is the NFA weapon right here. You can get it the same way as a regular weapon.
If you were to say, make a video just sitting at the table showing off the components of the gun, not firing it, how does it work?
I think that's okay, although it sounds like he's been having problems even though he's playing with 100-year-old guns. It sounds like people are like maybe upset with him. Maybe he's getting like mass flagged.
Yeah.
And that's happening. So...
there's multiple different things that could be happening with that, whether it's multiple flags and the Twitter mob coming after him in that way. There's also like some of that stuff where if you are dedicated to fighting it, a lot of these times, because they are bots that immediately flag it. If you actually commit to fight it and have good lawyers, which I mean, lawyers are so fucking expensive. They can easily go to Rumble and have exactly the same, if not more success. And Rumble will take less of a cut. So it makes business sense for them to go over there and do that kind of stuff where it is, less adulterated.
Yeah.
And the audience that really cares, they'll follow. Simple as that.
Well, I think what people should do is censor the crap out of themselves on their YouTube version and say, hey, if you want to see this thing actually work, go over to Rumble or something. Like, use it to offload.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is what most people at YouTube would, or most people that stream to YouTube talk about, especially the quartering. If you're on Rumble, you're preaching to the choir. You want to try to get converts on YouTube. You want to be Jonah in Nineveh. You want to
but that's like what ABF just said, is like use it as an offload, like make your YouTube be like super teasy with the content and go, okay, it ends 5 minutes before the actual video ends. Now go over to Rumble, and that's where we're going to show you how this all actually works.
Yeah, Russell Brand's been doing that for a while, especially with his first YouTube takedown. He was just like, okay, we got 30 minutes here. If you want to see the rest of the interview and we talk about more stuff that YouTube just doesn't want us to talk about, he'll like throw it in their fucking faces and be like, the rest of the show's on Rumble.
Yeah, or you could do it like Viva Frey. You say what you will. I don't care if people like him or not. But what he'll do is when he's on Rumble, he'll show a blurred out version of him with no audio, him talking like watch on Rumble. So it makes the audience want to join that.
Yeah,
because they're like, I'm missing out on something. It's just like a natural, fear of missing out kind of response. So yeah, there's definitely ways to do it. But you're trying to get the people like people in our GCA, Project Taco. He was a full-blown lefty guy, and he got converted because he kept watching the truth. And, we're not, we would like to make money. Yeah, we would like to have a bit of fame. But when it comes right down to it, it's just like, look, you need to wake up and realize what's going on. So if you're not doing that, if you're on Rumble, you're just kind of, you just got people that agree with you. And that's not where the pay dirt is, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. And that's part of that part of that issue is with Rumble itself, because that's one of the things we were talking about. I was talking about earlier tonight with Pudge and Fuse, was a lot of the issues with Rumble and the priorities that they have with their creators. Like, this is a prime time right now with the way YouTube's doing that stuff. Court all of those gun tubers. You don't got to pay them money. You ain't got to shell out millions of dollars in fucking exclusive contracts and shit like that. Just go, hey, all you people over there in the Rumble community, all you people over there in the gun community, all you gun tubers out there, we're your safe alternative. You can do whatever you want over here, and it's just like, if they would market that more, you could get those people to pull in, but it's everybody's looking for a payday. Nobody wants to go through the extra effort to put their stuff on another platform. And guess what? If that's the case, if that's your choice, then I'm sorry if you get your entire channel nuked and you decided not to find a back door, And I'm glad to see that these guys at least recognize that and recognize the necessity of moving. But it's like you said, it's like they were never doing that from the beginning, and now they find themselves at the crux of this. And Rumble needs to do more about promoting these guys, and their algorithm needs to be straightened out. They need to work on their algorithm more, and so that way they can be legitimate competition. But yeah, it's a missed opportunity to not try to court all of these people with this stuff going on right now.
That's kind of what happened with Rogan and Spotify. You had all these artists leaving and going everywhere else, and then when the exclusive deal ran out, and he went to YouTube and everywhere else, all the artists were like, "Well, shit, the best we better go back to Spotify then."
Yeah.
Otherwise, we got to go off the rest of the platforms.
As somebody that's in his 40s, I care about Neil Young. Okay. like all these relevant artists and stuff talking about.
Dude, that shit was hilarious when they were trying to get their stuff pulled from Spotify. I was like, oh, but most of you found out that guess what? You don't actually own the rights to any of your shit because you sold your soul to the industry.
They were successful for a while though. I lost the topper to one of my playlists. I was so fucking annoyed.
Here's what I say to Neil Young. Much like a Southern man, we don't care about you anyhow. Leonard Skinner. Yeah, no, but it's not an airport, dipshit. Take your mutton chops and get the fuck out of here. So don't care.
Well, let's move on to our next topic. Jesse, do you watch Top Gear
I
by any
do.
chance, or Grand Tour?
I've actually watched both because I've just like most people have an Amazon Prime subscription just because we all want free shipping and next day shipping and same day shipping and shit like that. I've a couple of times I have been binge watched like a Grand Tour and Top Gear. I watched a little bit of the Top Gear, but then I binge watched Grand Tour when it became Grand Tour. I'm not caught up on the new stuff and I haven't watched Clarkson's Farm yet, but yeah, the shows are fucking great.
It's
Clarkson's Farm is awesome. He's probably the funniest person in of Clarkson's Farm. I've already watched all of them, but I mean, I could. But
I'd rather watch some old Top Gear or Grand Tour. To be honest.
This weirdo right here put out an article with the headline: Jeremy Clarkson's the Grand Tour breakup leaves behind a legacy of bigotry and stunted masculinity.
What does he mean? Stunted masculinity.
Well, because he hates electric cars and loves the rumble of a V8, and apparently that's masculinity. That's
a horrible profile picture to have that title that you're writing.
I know.
Yeah, because you're like a beta male.
He looks like he's sitting in a wooden chair in the corner of the room.
And I'm sorry, how are we talking about bigotry? Like, for the past 20 years, it's just been the three of them. Where's the women for the bigotry to take place?
Right.
No, I mean, yeah, exactly. For somebody to have that opinion, they probably shouldn't look like an extra in a gay pornographic movie.
Melanie Macward.
So.
Melanie Macward was the only thing that came to mind.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, Nerd Words. If you haven't seen Clarkson's
I saw
Farm,
that.
it's great. It's like the perfect mix of I've never been on a farm or worked a farm before, but I'm curious about it, mixed with like fuck the government.
And just say at the bottom of the tag headline there, it's like, could it be that the British public has just stopped buying what they're selling? It's like, no, they're fucking 100 million years old and they want to go off and do other things. They've been the highest selling product in the BBC for the past 20 years. They took Amazon by storm every single time a new season comes out. Number one thing watched. None of your fictional stuff, none of your procedural TV shows. Every single time, Grand Tour, Clarkson's Farm, even James May doing his like Man in Japan and wherever else, they kicked ass.
Yeah,
and it's still played in syndication, like in marathons constantly for anyone who still has cable or satellite.
Oh my goodness, Top Gear.
And what's really gonna be fucking hilarious is when this when the Nielsen ratings come in and shit for like this and like the Grand Tour absolutely smashes Rings of Power's numbers to like into oblivion because they've been like touting it as like the number one premiere on the number one most watched show. Okay, until Grand Tour comes in and just kicks the living dog shit out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think.
But so I got into. I realized we haven't talked about any gaming yet. I promise we're gonna get to it. But the Grand Tour coming to an end just made me very sad. I started watching Top Gear like 2002 to 2004 ish, and that was when you weren't even allowed to watch it in America. I had to learn how to BitTorrent in order to watch it, and I still do that to this day. I can't stop. So
I started in 2006, and BBC America. I watched every single episode, every single last one of them.
And back then, that is literally when it was just a car show. Like, it would open up, here's your intro, segment for a car, fade to black, segment for next car. That's it.
But these three people put together are just absolutely the funniest.
Phenomenal.
You got Clarkson, who's just got the driest humor. You got James Bay, who just loves everything that's old, even though it doesn't make sense. And then you got Hammond, who just wants to drive a muscle car, even though that doesn't make any sense driving it across like 3,000 miles somewhere.
He's a pig in mud. That's it.
And they all have like this rock, paper, scissors personality to where they all just dig into each other. It's really funny. So
yeah, I can't stress enough to the chat. If you have not watched these guys go on a road trip or some sort of special, you just need to, because you have not seen entertainment like it. They are the realest people you will ever see in a program. Like, yes, there's some scripted moments and there's some running gags and all that kind of stuff, but there's a real world aspect to it.
They're the most British people because they make fun of Richard Hammond's white teeth. all the time.
His white teeth, his dyed hair.
Yeah, like they had a car that ran into snow. They're like, "What does this remind you of?" And they're like, "Richard Hammond," and it was like it's snow all in the grill. It was
The funniest thing though is that they all get a particular car. Like they'll choose like a theme. Like you have to get like 70s British cars, or we're gonna drive 1,500 miles across several countries or whatever. And they'll get what they think is the coolest car, even though it's probably not the best car. They stick by their guns, they defend it, even though it sucks. And it's just funny because Clarkson is always driving into the back of their cars. He doesn't give a shit, and they get so pissed off.
Yeah, there was one in Bolivia. So they were driving on the world's most dangerous road, where it's like literally just at the edge of a cliffside. And it's like, James goes, you know that very funny thing you do where you back into the enemy? Yes, well, I will come at you with a machete if anything happens. And he does, like, all filmed on camera.
Yeah, Hammond gets on the radio. He's like, "Oh, James May is going to murder Clarkson now."
Yeah, those guys are absolutely hilarious. They're great together. I'm like, yeah, and I can understand where they're coming from too. They're like, look, we can only come up with so many more we've ran out of fucking ideas. Okay, like we know we can keep going and it's going to keep making money, but we're literally out of fucking ideas at this point.
We've also ran out of countries to go to.
Right.
Yeah, but here's the best part. Here's the best dichotomy. Sorry, is they went to like Iraq in the war zones and they were fairly safe. They went to Alabama and they almost got their ass whooped. they got in so much trouble in Alabama.
I remember that special. Yeah,
dude,
Clarkson got like a 3rd gen Camaro, like IROC. And he's like, I bought this because according to the statistics, more murderers drive this car than any other car.
Just to give everyone a little context for that show, they go into Alabama and then they decide we're going to spray paint the most awful things you could possibly think of on the side of our car. So,
but they're all British sayings, so no one understands it.
on James May's car, you had Man Love Rules, I think.
Yeah, that was one. Yeah.
Jeremy's car had NASCAR sucks, and then
that was the one that pissed everybody off.
Yeah, and then James was Hillary for president.
No wonder they almost got their asses kicked.
Dude, because that grandma, she must have been maybe not grandma. She was like 50 years old. She was like, I'm gonna call my son over here and I'm gonna whoop your ass or something like that. And they were like, oh shit, we need to get out of here. Like, it was like, but they drove through the war zone on one of the unsafest places in Iraq.
Yeah, they drove right around it to Israel.
Yeah. But Alabama apparently is what got them. Of course,
there was one where they drove to Ukraine actually, and it was really funny because they interviewed a person there that was just screaming at this fence, and they interviewed him, and they're like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "Well, I went to bed last night." And I woke up and someone had moved the fence, and now I live in Russia instead of Ukraine.
Yeah, it's quite funny. Jeremy pulls out a map and he goes, so here is the border between Georgia and Russia as recognized by most people in the world, everyone. But the Russians reckon that it's over here, actually. So at night, they move it by inch. You go to bed at night, you're in Georgia. You wake up, you're Russian.
It's fucking great. Yeah, that shit's.
Yeah, I remember that too.
We'll say if you do need to get your Top Gear fix, you can get it through Pluto TV or Amazon.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, or learn to BitTorrent. They're still out there. The files are healthy.
There you go.
Okay, so I have a question since we're talking about it. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Isn't Pluto free?
Yeah, Pluto's free. Yeah, my wife watches like. Yeah, they do. There's ads. It's literally just like cable is all it really is, except it's completely and totally free. Like my wife's addicted to the CSI show because there's like 3 or 4 different CSI channels on there. That's like all she watches.
Great Doctor Who, great classic Doctor Who.
Yes, they got a great classic Who channel. I actually got to watch one of the older Doctor's regenerations on that one. On that, I was catching it the other day. So yeah,
What's regeneration?
Pluto's great for a lot of stuff.
Just JK. Look up on Google America episode of Top Gear. It wasn't Grand Tour back then. It was Top Gear.
Yeah.
It was probably
Regeneration.
Like 2000.
Sorry, everyone.
Or something like
what
that.
Regeneration did you watch, Common Nerd?
I don't remember. I'm having a brain fart now. I can't remember the actor's name. It was the one. It was the one that had the really fancy dress with the curly hair.
Number 6 into 7.
Yeah, I think it was 6 into 7 because it was back when he was stuck on Earth and he was working with Unit all of the time.
Oh no, that's 3 into 4, I think.
Okay,
That's
then
way back.
it was. Yeah, it was back. It was farther back than that. Yeah, it was 3 into 4 is what
Cool.
it was. And so yeah, that I never got to see that before because it's hard to sometimes it's hard to find like the DVDs and stuff of some of the older stuff sometimes and trying to find it anywhere where you can watch it outside of its literally classic Who streaming stuff. You know, so yeah,
That's
I
actually
thought
one
that
of the
was a lot
best
fun.
ones. A tear,
Yeah.
Sarah Jane.
So
Yes.
Isaac, why are women obsessed with murder shows? If you're married, you know.
It's because they think about murdering their husbands all the time, I think.
Yeah, I'm going into my 20th year, and if they're not thinking about it, you're not doing your job as a husband, right, Commander?
Yeah, they're thinking about marrying the person that they're sleeping with while you're not getting any pussy.
Prof, I have eggs every day.
Well,
You
I
already
just
know
brought
that.
it into real life. So thank
Whoops.
you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
I have chickens, so I have eggs all the damn time.
Oh, dude, I wish.
I love having
Me
chickens.
too. Living the dream.
I love having my
That's
chickens.
awesome.
Let's see here.
Reasonably priced car. Which one did you love the most? Mine was Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz. Where he
Oh,
went
that
on
was
two
the best
wheels.
one.
When he
That
went
was
on two
definitely the best
wheels, like he accidentally Tom Cruised at the end.
Oh, I remember that episode.
Mhm.
So good.
I remember that one.
Well, not to nerd out on cars the entire episode, I figured we should talk about some gaming stuff. So, what do y'all think about the PS5 Pro pricing at $699 plus $30 for a stand, and was it $80 for a
Yeah,
disc
$80
drive?
for the disc drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing: if we're looking at over $700 for what some ray tracing, like we ABF and I talked about this the other day. So he has a first generation PS5. I have a second generation PS5 that has a single racing line, whereas this one has 3. But mine also didn't come with a stand. I didn't have to buy a stand. It just sits on the fucking table. It works perfectly fine. I don't need that. I didn't
It
have
took
to
us like an
buy-
hour to figure out what was going on with Hayden's PlayStation because it didn't come with a stand.
Yeah, exactly. It never came with a stand. It came with the disc drive. It just sits upright. And I think this one cost me like $600. So they're going up an additional to have all the crap that you need for it because, you know, you need the disc drive and the stand that you have to add to it for what? Some extra rays of sunlight? Like, this is the dumbest move they could possibly make. However, they fucking sold out because Sony ponies are ready to ride, baby, every time.
And I'd like to point out that's the same price over here and in the US, which roughs out to about $915 over here.
Yeah,
But
it's more
Hayden,
expensive. Yeah.
Hayden and Norman, you don't realize it's got what gamers crave. It's got polygons.
Oh,
Polygons. Man, the
many
last time I cared
polygons.
about polygons was whenever it was OG Laura Croft and I was looking at some triangle boobies.
Exactly.
I thought it was
Right.
electrolytes that
It's
we
got
craved.
stripes on the side. It's special.
Here's
I have a
what I
single
need-
stripe.
It goes faster with the extra stripes.
Here's what I want to point out. Everybody's looking at this. They have a stand. Turn the motherfucker upside down. It'll stand up. It's digital. It's not like there's much of anything going on there. There's no moving parts.
Here's the thing, Mo. If you
Well,
put
there
the
is heat
fucking
dissipation.
disc drive on it, you don't need the stand anyway because it makes the side of it fat as shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
this console is for a very like small sect of gamers because like Hayden just said, no gamer has cared about graphics ever. We just want a game that's good and fun and works, maybe has a good story, good gameplay mechanics. That's it. This is for
Astro
a
Boy.
very small subset. And
Astrobot, excuse me.
let me just point out, PS5, PlayStation, Sony, whatever, they don't want you buying this year. They don't. They want you buying it next year when GTA 6 comes out. And
Yes.
Well,
A
that's why
cavalcade of
it's
games.
available. It's already sold out, essentially.
So
but you know they're
there-
going to chop the price because GTA 6 is going to cost near $100. So when it's all
There's a
said
couple
and
things
done,
going
they'll
on.
be spending the same amount of money.
So let's see here. The console itself costs Sony roughly $900 to $1,000. They've been subsidizing the PS5, the non-pro, for years, and there's just no competition right now because they totally blew the competition out. and they can charge it. So there's a bit of greed going on there. Also, I think that they screwed up by not talking. They showed 2 different images and they looked exactly the same almost.
Yes.
Like one had some reflections, the other didn't. You're like, okay, that's cool, I guess.
My favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet and Clank, and it was identical.
Yeah. Why didn't they talk about how this thing is going to probably run like GTA 6 better? And the reason why is because it'll make their other current lineup, the PS5, the best-selling console, look bad. So they're competing with themselves also.
Well, I mean,
Well,
that's
why wouldn't they just show? So we've already had leaked gameplay footage of GTA 6. I'm assuming it was run off the normal PS5. Oh yeah, why not just go ahead and tease that a little bit more? Because we've already seen some of the gameplay and show how the Pro is doing better with that.
Well,
and like,
I would
do a little
say,
tech
given that it's
demonstration.
Rockstar, I don't know if it would be a box standard PS5 multi. They probably have a Pro dev kit there, because all these studios they get these consoles like a year in advance to test out their games before we even see them.
Dragonwise, we are not monetized, just so you know. So just write down how much you normally would super chat and then say something and I'll highlight it.
Free super chats, everybody.
You can come super chat my channel. It's okay.
But do you get where I'm coming from though? Like, why not give a little tech demo across multiple games on why this one's better and why it deserves the price hike?
I think we need like third-party actual reviews also to see if there actually is a difference. But also, I think that they're also, here's another thing. I think they're trying to get us used to paying a lot of money for the PS6 when that comes out.
I have talked about this, how what it is that they're trying to do with they're selling this to try to get people to accept just adopting digital games. Now, we've just seen PlayStation remove a game from players' libraries and not address it besides saying, okay, we'll give you a refund. But what if the point is to sway people into buying these digital games so that they're able to rip a game out of your hands at any point so that now you have to buy something new? If they can get you to buy into digital only, they can get you to pay for their monthly subscriptions to continue to play games. And I think that's what all of this has to do with.
Well, I definitely think the focus is on digital, but what I think is the plan for the PS6 is what they're doing with the Pros. They're going to sell the disc drive separately. So if you want the full PlayStation experience, you're going to have to buy it piecemeal.
Well, and that's one of the other things that's another one of them pushes to try to get you away from physical media. Why? Because it's easy to censor things if it's all digital, right? And that's the goal, and that's what makes it so easy. And then because otherwise, like, this is stupid from a marketing standpoint as far as I'm concerned. Because try reading the room right now. Every gamer worth their salt out there are bitching about these insane prices that these new games are getting to. You know, we're already seeing a slowdown in the gaming industry with a lot of this stuff that's overpriced, and it's not giving you the things that they promised. You know, we can talk about Star Wars Outlaws and how that's failed, and Concord obviously, and a few other things. Dustborn obviously didn't go anywhere either. But it's one of those things where you've got a time right now where you've got so much other competition out there, right? With Steam and computers and all these indie studios out there and everything else, you're literally asking people to pay $800 for something that they could build themselves that would probably run better when tweaked right than what you're trying to buy out of the box. Now, what they're always banking on is people just being lazy and not wanting to deal with computers and stuff like that. That's why the consoles will always be a thing, as far as I'm concerned, and they will always end up doing well. But they want to make it to where you are digital only. They can easily censor stuff, and they want to get you used to these outrageous prices. And at a time right now where everybody's bitching, I think this was a really dumb move. I mean, their trailer got ratioed into oblivion by everybody talking about this. So I don't think even with the Sony stands out there, I don't think the sales of this thing are going to be anywhere near what they are hoping it's going to be. I think they're going to end up losing money on this console.
Okay, so GTA 6 is going to come out before the PlayStation 6 comes out. So it is going to be a thing that's going to be a resource heavy game, and people are going to point to this and say, maybe you need to get the Pro. And That's the thing, is that people need to have an actual reason to get it, and they failed to show that in the video.
Yeah.
And like I said, GTA is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many games coming out next year that need this high processing power to generate all this stuff. Like Crimson Desert, one I've been focusing on, is going to be basically an MMO-sized world put into a single-player hands. Everything's rendered all at once. You can see far and wide. There's so many things going on in terms of combat. Like, I think a PS5 Pro and the next gen, whatever Xbox hardware and a good PC is the only way you can run games like this now.
Well, you say that though, and look at what Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom did with the Switch. I think that's an excuse. I think that's an excuse for lazy developers, because you have the exact same thing. There's no there's very little loading screens. It's pretty much a completely and totally open world when it comes to all of that kind of stuff, and they're doing it on a fucking Switch.
Well, you've got to remember that's one, they're developing for one platform, whereas most of these companies are developing for multiple platforms. And if you've been with me on the show, you know I slag the Xbox Series S any chance I get, because it has literally held this entire generation back, because every single other company has to make for the lowest common denominator, which is the Series S.
You know, but
Just
this is
I just want to address this really quick. I believe most of the market analysts are saying it will come out in 2026.
Well, I saw 2028.
Really?
Yeah, I saw 2028 myself. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, they're already working on the hardware to build them, as you can see here. They've been working on this since 2022. They won the bid for the hardware.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and what's interesting about it too is, like, and everybody's talking about GTA 6. I mean, we just heard a little rumor go around in the last couple of days that they're talking about delaying that another year, that game might not come out until 2026. And the other thing about that too is from what some of my friends that work in the gaming industry have told me, there's a very good possibility that GTA 6 is not going to land with their player base. And there's a very good possibility it's because of the agenda.
Yeah, well, I've heard in terms of release is that it's going to be triple stunted. So they're going to release on PlayStation, then they're going to release on Xbox, and then they're going to release on PC. So
which is what they usually do. They usually let the PC one hang out in the ether. But here's the thing: woke or not woke, there's no Laszlo. So that I don't care if it's not woke at all. If there's no Laszlo involved, I am going to be very skeptical of the product they're going to put out, because that man was the lifeblood of that series for almost 2 decades.
Well, he was, but like mostly as radio host, right? Like
no, he was he was the one that wrote the stories. He's the one that did the storylines. He's the one that went on radio shows to help push the product. Like, he was the ultimate ambassador to that product. His DNA was all over the GTA series. Like, you have to understand, this guy did everything for GTA.
But GTA at this point is so big. Like, I understand what it is that you're saying, but GTA 5, they've sold it on 3 generations of consoles now, and it still just keeps flying off the fucking shelves.
Yeah.
Like and I think one of the things with this new PS5 Pro is, like, I think that there are some of the, Sony fanboys that really care about this stuff, and they're the ones who have bought it all.
And I want to address Nerd Wars comment. That's what I was going to say a little earlier when people were trying to make points. It's okay. Look, we had this discussion in the back room. When you look at the PS3, it's an IBM Power PC architecture with an arbitrary chip in it. Like, it's a great console if you know how to program it, but it's a very arbitrary compared to what the computers were at the time, which was all like x86. Even Apple wasn't on Power PC anymore. All the PS4, all the PS5, PS4 too. All the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and all that stuff, they're just computers. It's AMD architecture. There's nothing, but you know what you have, so you can program for it. There is not much that goes into porting it. That is a marketing move, 100%. There's nothing special about those consoles. They're not anything, except for the Switch. Which even then, that's a tablet essentially, an NVIDIA tablet. It's like an NVIDIA Shield with like different controllers. Like, it's all kind of common technology with like common parts that are used in a lot of other stuff. Which is why, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say
just quickly, and then I'll let you go on. But just to put some numbers behind it, GTA sold 10 million copies just last year alone.
It's insane.
Well, you know what? You do know one of the big reasons why for that is because it's been so heavily modded with things like 4M and like the role play community, which is so fucking huge and has been for years and years and years. You have to buy the base game in order to run it through. I think I said 4M. I meant 5M.
Yeah, 5M.
That's where NoPixel and a lot of the bigger ones run through. You have to buy the base game in order to go to their modded version of that game. So that's why it keeps selling, because that community just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Yeah. And I was just going to say anecdotally, like I have my PS5 and I bought it so whenever it first came out, I wanted a PS5 and I very quickly lost interest, but I bought mine for one reason and one reason alone. Stellar Blade. I bought it for Stellar Blade, and I enjoyed the hell out of Stellar Blade. And now I have Black Myth, and I have a Space Marine on it because I've got it. I might as well play a couple other games, but everything else, I'll play on my PC.
All started because of boobies.
Yeah,
Physics, baby. It sells. Sex is hot. Like the Hollywood Reporter themselves said, when everybody else was out there writing like, oh my God, Stellar Blade, all the game journalists were having meltdowns over everything else. Hollywood Reporter, a female writer for Hollywood Reporter, came out and went, hey, stupid, sex sells. Yes, that's why the game's doing so well, you morons. And I'm like, wait a minute, this just come out of the Hollywood Report? What the fuck? But yeah. Because that's the other thing too. Like with me, one of those, like I've pretty much always played PlayStation since my Nintendo 64 and Sega days. I've pretty much always been a PlayStation guy. I would only ever get an Xbox for like Fable and Halo. That was like the only reasons I ever went out of my way. And that's the other thing too, is there aren't any games out there. Like, there's no way in hell I'm going to buy one of these damn things. No chance in hell, unless somebody like forces me to, because they think it's funny to watch me torture me with something. But like, there's no way in hell, because there's nothing out there that I can't play, that I just absolutely have to have a PlayStation to play for. I mean, yeah, I would love to play Stellar Blade, and maybe some of this other stuff, but there's nothing out there. There's nothing out there that's drawing me in that says I have to buy this next generation, that I have to have this system so I can play this amazing game. And that's one of the other problems. It's not going to work out very well for them at all. So,
and Gun Ho Matt, Korea wins every time on that one. All right.
True.
Hey, man.
Common Nerd, I do want to ask you this. You just brought up things that are like console specific. There's a whole a lot of reasons why the Xbox quote unquote won the console war in the beginning, or the console great battles in the beginning, because of things like Halo and Gears of War. And there's nothing else coming out. Do you think that has anything to do with like the low shelf life of a lot of these games? Because we see a lot of games, they pop off within 2 months, they die down. Everyone loves it, but then it just like fades into obscurity in a very short time phrase. And do you think that's TikTok brain for gamers?
I don't think.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's because I don't think that's much of a change than how things have always been. The only difference is the games that sustain and last are the ones that have good replayability. And we don't have a lot of great stuff with a lot of great replayability. Like, I would go back and play Red Dead Redemption all day long and twice on Sunday right now if I didn't have anything better to do, because I love that game and it's a lot of fun and there's a lot of great things to do. But the industry itself has so many, their concentration has been so much on this live service stuff. Like, I love Space Marine 2. I think the campaign is way too short. Right. And that's always been my issue with any of these kind of games, whether it be Black Ops, whether it be any of this kind of stuff. They concentrate so much on the live service aspect of it. And if that live service aspect doesn't take off, nobody's going to keep playing your game afterwards. That's over. I mean, you're gonna have a little bit of a hardcore audience that always sticks around, but the majority of people are going to fall off because guess what? You've lost their interest, and you don't have enough built into your game to keep people wanting to just fire it up every once in a while and play it. And I think that's just an industry issue because they're concentrating too much on live service shit and not just concentrating on giving us a good quality game. That's why Black Myth Wukong, there's still people playing it. I'm sure they probably
buying it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And because that's a solid game with a great story and it doesn't depend on all this online stuff. So I think that's just a problem with the industry in general.
I completely agree. And I think another problem that feeds into the live service problem is these absolute crap community managers that become the full branding face for a live service game. They are supposed to foster the community, give feedback back and forth between the devs and the community, and they start trying to cast people out of the gaming group for that game specifically, and they end up causing an implosion because the game devs start to rapidly develop things like I think we saw with Helldivers 2, where they started doing rapid development. They were putting money that they may not quite have had just yet because it had such a big audience that was there and excited for it. And then the community managers came in and ruined the entire thing. Plus Sony, the publisher, coming in and marking out a bunch of countries from being able to continue to play the game.
Yeah, and that one, the Helldivers is a great example of that one because we were all playing Helldivers for like weeks, you know, before all of the bullshit happened. And I went back one time and played again for a little while after they reversed the decision about the PlayStation Network account. After they reversed that, I went back and I played again, but honestly, I haven't played since. You know, I've got a bunch of other games that I can play, and that's damage to that community that they will never get back. You know, all because they picked really stupid people to be in charge of things. So forget community managers. You need to be worried about more community stewards and make steward great again, because you're a steward means you're supposed to take care of things. You're supposed to foster things. If you have a manager, well, now they feel like they're a person that's in a position of authority and they're the ones that get to dictate how things operate and who's in and who's out. And well, we've seen how that kind of gatekeeping has worked out for all of the major industries out there. So Helldivers will never get back what it's lost now. They permanently damaged themselves by allowing that kind of shit to foster.
And it was going to be a natural death. Let's be serious. Like that kind of gameplay was going to get old after a while, but they hastened it because they had a bunch of fucking cows as their community managers, and they hastened the end of that game. They're still trying to keep it alive, but it was never going to last forever. They could have spread that out. The graph would have been nice and smooth, would have lasted for a while. But no, they let the Baskinator in there after she had her bonbons, and she just ruined it for everybody.
All right, I have one counterpoint to that, Mo. I've got one quick counterpoint to that.
You're wrong, but
it's a game that came out in 2000 and I believe 11. It's called Elite Dangerous, and that game, I was playing it back in 2011, 2012, very, very heavily. Now, I was victim of becoming a salty gamer because I grinded for like a year and a half to get the biggest ship in the game. And right after I got it, they adjusted the reward system for doing quests so that people could get in and get to that highest level of ship in like a month and a half. And I got mad and just quit playing the fucking game after that. But that game still has a decent sized audience playing it. It's not as massive as it used to be, but they keep rolling stuff out that's entertaining.
Helldivers came out with such a different, with such a different idea that I think would have literally kept the game going a lot stronger and for a lot longer than what Mo thinks, because of what they were doing. They were being interactive with their community as they were playing. If the community started kicking their ass too much in the game, well, sudden invasion. You know, all of a sudden you just got the planet you thought was secure all of a sudden got invaded. And I think that's something that would have kept the game going perpetually for a very long time and kept it very successful. Obviously, you're never going to get the peak of heights that you did in the beginning. Pal World obviously has really fallen off since the height of that. Same every time Pal World would have done a lot better.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
I'm just looking at the Steam chart, and Helldivers 2 maxes out at about 30,000 on the weekend on Steam. So triple that.
Not bad.
If you triple that, there's probably about 100,000 people across all platforms playing Helldivers 2.
But what Common Nerd is talking about, it's living by the sword and dying by the sword. They interact with their people in their community, and things like that, and they get a lot of positivity from that. But if you're going to let some fat cow admonish people and ban people for bringing, for like weaponizing their Discord, well, you know what? You brought people in thinking that they're going to have this interaction where they're actually going to be heard, not be treated like garbage. But then you don't curate your community managers, and that's why they were successful to start off with is why they failed in the end, because they did not fully appreciate how important it is you know, to have a to be engaged with their customer base. But at the end, when the rubber meets the road, the first people they interact with are a bunch of fat fucking loser women that ruined their game for them, and they still don't understand it. Those idiots are still employed, you know. So to that end, as far as marketing goes, they got what they fucking deserved, and I don't feel bad for them at all. It was a fun game, but they got what they deserved because they totally didn't see the forest for the trees.
Well, I'll say, going back to like Malty's original question, is that the whole reason behind the hyperinflation of players, like the 2 million playing Pal World, is simply social media. That's it. Like, it popped off, everyone was talking about it for a good couple of weeks, and then everyone stopped talking about it, and it's died down to, again, around that sort of 30,000 player mark.
Yeah. Well, and you have to keep something engaged too. And that was one of the things that Helldivers was doing well, was engaging with their community and, you know, giving you new things. It's like when everybody, like, they were like, oh, it'll take you guys a week to, because they were sending out challenges to their community as well. They're like, oh, it'll take, you know, that they're never, you know, it's going to take them forever to, you know, fit this. Well, the community went, ha ha ha, joke's on you, and like smashed it in like 24 hours, you know? And so if they would have kept doing things like that and kept the politics out of shit, which is obviously the game developers and the game intent was obviously to be very much, you know, crude humor, crazy shit, blowing stuff up, everybody dying, you know, based kind of shit that everybody likes. If they would have just had their community managers not fucking open their damn mouths and say a damn thing about politics, that game would be doing a whole hell of a lot better than what it currently is. I mean, 30,000 peak players over the weekend ain't nothing to fucking shake a stick at, not by a long shot. Sure as fuck a lot better than Dustborn and Concord. But still, it's not what they could have had and what they could have sustained without allowing someone to put them in the middle of a culture war.
And here's the saddest part. These community managers make shit. They could probably work at a gas station. So basically, you're holding on to these liabilities for next to nothing, and they're ruining your product because I think they got too big too fast and they could not take care of what was happening underneath them. But that is also a poor excuse because they got just buried in a news cycle and like I said, if you're going to reach out with your audience to try to interact with them, but then you don't have the best people interacting with them, you've basically hastened your own demise. You've gotten this quick bump and this horrendous slow death because of what you're trying to market with. So
yeah, just to throw back to Elite Dangerous real quick, I just looked at the Steam charts on it. They're hitting an average 30-day of like 4,000 players, and there were almost 3,000 players playing now, but that's just on Steam. So Frontier Developments has their own launcher as well, which is where I originally bought the game. So I was never playing through Steam. Then they went to Xbox, PlayStation, and other places, and it's all cross-play. So they're probably still pulling okay numbers for a game that's over 10 years old.
Right, but it's also
usually the common rule is just triple the number.
Yeah, it's a huge VR game. It's one of the biggest ones where
for VR,
there's a huge VR community that keeps that going.
But I never played in VR, and like I said, I just got salty like a couple years into it. But they still put out updates and stuff. They've got like get out of your ship combat on planets and stuff like that now. Like they're still working pretty hard on the game from what I understand. And one of the big things that they did whenever the game started to like die down is something Helldivers could have done. They introduced aliens into the world because the entire thing was just ship combat, doing trades and doing missions. And then they introduced aliens into it. And these aliens that showed up, it was like a whole big community thing. They have all these community goals and stuff. They were rocking for a while with that. And then, you know, it slowed down because nothing's going to last forever. But they're still doing decent for having developed the basis of their game over 10 years ago.
Well, here's what they should do. They should have two different factions of Helldivers. They should have Super Earth, and then they should have somebody that doesn't agree with the politics of Super Earth. But with a light hand, because you already have your aliens, just have a PvP VE where you're like, okay, you know, there's a different flip it on its head. That would get me back into it. I agree, you know, but I don't think they can move that ship as fast as they'd like to. I think they got too big too quick. And they're under the thumb of Sony, which is already just crap to begin with.
Yep.
You know,
that's one of the major problems.
But
they did that shit with
from
Sony.
Santa Monica. Yeah.
That being said, I'm going to try the new update in a couple of days. Subscribe to my YouTube and kick.
Grift, sir, grift.
Well, and I think that might have been one of the reasons why they couldn't just fire that community manager outright either, because of Sony and like all of their DEI stuff and everything else.
Well, she sure as hell wasn't going to starve to death. So, you know.
She could have lived for a couple of months on crackers, like, but eventually, yeah, I mean, she might starve to death. Come on.
All I'm saying is her profile pic, that's the best one she could choose from. That's pretty sad. All right. Yes, and I'm body shaming this fat pig.
Do it.
Well, here, I've got
Hashtag
a nice
make
little,
fat shaming great again.
I've got a nice little transition that Isaac made for us.
Oh,
here.
come on.
Yeah.
I just want the sucker dick to see what it tastes like.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Oh, he changed it to me. I like this one.
He did it. He fucking did it.
This is the best version so far.
Yeah. He had a different one, which I kind of like the old one because it kind of surprises you. But yeah,
No, the old one, he was missing the music. He added the music. in
Yeah,
this
you
one.
got to have the music. You got to have the guts theme. That's just the travesty. But,
I just wanted to break it up so we can get to our next story. So Culture Crave put together 40 different TV and movies that are going to be made relating to gaming adaptations.
What?
And
No, I see Ghost of Tsushima. Fuck
Yeah.
you. Don't touch it.
There's a lot in here. In fact, if you look through the comments, he even says at one point, this is just 40. There's a lot more. I just chose an arbitrary number.
Oh, no.
So,
That's crazy.
Damn.
Some of these, like Duke
Yeah.
Nukem, couldn't possibly.
Wait, The
be worse than
Sims?
last.
What the fuck? How do you
Yeah,
make a
that's
Sims?
what I said.
Daggerdall was saying that earlier. He's like, what is that going to be about? People burning their food or some shit?
Well, I'll give you the
The
answer.
ladder disappeared from the
literally gonna
pool, and
be-
now I'm drowning. Oh no!
It's,
Yeah, the
it's
ladder
literally
disappeared.
just going to be Big Brother. That's all a Sims game would be. It's going to be fucking Big Brother or whatever.
Oh,
the
if you
fuck the
make
rest
it
of the
like
shows are.
if you make it like anti-government, like 1984 style, that'd be cool. I'd be down with
Yeah.
that.
Well,
It's
I'd
interesting.
say we kind of already
Great.
seen it. It's called Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't the greatest movie.
It wasn't.
It wasn't a bad movie though. Like it was fun.
Yes.
And
there's
granted,
worse.
It
that was-
wasn't
that was
shit.
more like-
It also like I wasn't reviewing it like the way that we watched it and reviewed it wasn't like I'm looking at technical aspects. I was like, did I have fun and enjoy myself?
I think the weirdest one
Ultimately,
on
yes,
this
but I
list.
think I
oh,
still rated it 4 out of 10.
I think the
Fucking
weirdest one on this
Pac-Man?
list is Gravity Rush. Why the fuck is that's like a obscure PS Vita game? Like, why is
Well,
it on
like
this?
Nerd Wars pointed
Sony.
out. So the ones from Secret Level, I know Warhammer was Mass Effect part of that also. Which ones are from Secret Level? Do you remember?
I don't
Norman?
remember if Mass Effect
So
was.
Mass
Was that
Effect
your
is Mass Effect was just a pitch. It's kind of in development hell right
Oh,
now.
that's right. It's in like developer hell right now,
I'll
right?
show- yeah, I'll share my screen
Yeah.
if you want. Hold on.
Are they
Yeah,
trying to
go ahead,
do
David.
Shepard or just something in the Mass Effect universe involving the relays and all that kind of stuff?
And then Gears of War, that's gonna never get made, kind of like Halo never did, and then all of a sudden we got the shittiest possible version of it.
Yeah, the gayest possible version.
I
of
can't
God.
imagine any of these are gonna be like good.
Wait, so I want to go around the panel. I want to know what everybody thinks is going to be which one has the best chance and which one is the absolute worst idea.
Here,
I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's has got the best chance.
I think Zelda
Already
has the best
mentioned
chance.
that, right?
Oh, that was a good movie, yeah.
So I disagree with you on the Zelda thing, just because I think that part of the charm of Zelda is the fact that the main character Link doesn't fucking talk. And I know they made it work in the animated series, but I do not want to hear what Link has to fucking say about anything, because all of his speech is just implied basic stuff in the games, and that's part of the charm of the games, right?
BioShock
I
would
would
have
say-
to be a TV series, probably not a
Well,
movie.
that's a movie, and I was going to say I think God of War should be a movie, but it's a TV series.
Well, they've
Yeah,
already
that
tried
one-
Assassin's Creed once, and that didn't go well.
They already tried
Yeah,
that
the movie.
with Michael Fassbender too. I
didn't
thought they had a
mind-
pretty good chance.
I mean, it's not a good movie. I'll say
It's
that,
not
but
good.
I didn't.
I
Even
kind
bother
of
watching
feel
that.
like the ones that are that have already become movies should be excluded from the list. Like we already had Detective Pikachu, the newer Mortal Kombat, Last of Us,
Uncharted 2. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
I know
all of
one
the
that
TV
whenever I
shows.
look at this makes me like viscerally angry
This
and
one?
makes me want to pull in. No, go up.
Oh,
Up.
what's that? Metal Gear.
Yup.
Fuck
Fuck
mine would
you.
be,
Do you know who's
touch
attached to it?
Metal Gear. I don't want to
that'd be
know.
terrible.
I don't
Oscar
wanna know.
Isaac.
Oh boy.
Devil May Cry. I can't.
I
do
almost said
anything
something
good
I'm
with
not
that.
allowed to say on YouTube that I would do to myself. Hey, fuck this over.
Hayden, you've been
Don't.
making videos with me because I could just I'll just edit that out. Say it all you want.
Yeah, so it's a very simple list here. We have Alan Wake and Control. That's kind of what spurred the whole infographic you just saw from Culture Crave.
Yeah,
they've just been announced by Annapurna. Mega Man was announced with Netflix, but nothing's happened with that. Same with Gears of War. And then here's our upcomings. We have Sonic 3 coming out. We've had trailers for that. Last of Us Part 2 coming out next year. Minecraft.
Just really quick, I think
Ooh.
Gears of War as an animated TV series would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I could work.
totally.
yeah. No, yeah.
If they did it in the style
It
of like
could
Spawn
be.
the animated series, that could be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get
Really
freaking
bloody.
John DiMaggio back to start to do the voice acting. Go get the original voice actors, make it animated, make it gritty as hell. It could, in theory, be great. I don't
it's
trust
2024.
these motherfuckers at all.
Well, and one of the things is this is what I always do with any of this stuff when it's announced is I look at who's behind it, right? Because that's always the key factor in whether or not this is going to be good. One Piece was only good because of the people behind it. And I knew, and I suspected that One Piece was going to be good from the beginning, even though I didn't know dick about the anime. I didn't know dick about the manga outside of some of the videos and the topics I'd covered in the past. But because they were saying all of the right things, right? I knew Five Nights at Freddy's was going to be good because the main creator was up their butts involved in absolutely everything, you know? And guess what? Yeah, that movie wasn't $1 billion blockbuster or anything like that, but all of the Five Nights at Freddy's fans were super happy.
my goodness.
And that movie was more profitable than anything else released that year from Disney. You know,
Great.
so it's one of those things where it all just ends up being dependent. I will never dismiss outright an adaptation just because it's an adaptation. I will initially go and look at the people behind it because I do want good adaptations. I do want to see something done well, but it all depends on who's behind it.
Well, to add to that, if we go down to development hell here, Warhammer 40K, it's kind of people behind it on both sides because you got Games Workshop and Amazon working against Henry Cavill here.
They're waiting for it to expire, basically.
Warhammer actually is.
Yeah, the contract. If they don't get anything solidified by December of this year, that series will not come out.
Yeah,
they
And
have
then
until
just-
December at the end of
just
this
to
year.
quick-
And
Just to
Go ahead.
quickly run through the rest of development hell here, we have
Yeah.
Life is Strange TV, which I put as memory hold because we've had literally an announcement maybe 8 years ago, and we've heard fucking
They
nothing
ran into a
since.
problem with Ellen Page. I don't want to go too far into what.
Oh,
that
I
problem
wonder what
was.
happened there. Huh?
the
That's
demonic
weird.
influence and
It's
possession she went through.
Elliot, you bigot.
Mass Effect TV, that was just that was some rumors going around the summer that Amazon was working on a pitch for Mass Effect TV series, but we've heard nothing of it. And I put Detective Pikachu at the bottom here because it's been quite a few years since we've had the sequel, and the main actor was asked at the start of the year where it was happening with the sequel, and he said, well, I'm still waiting on a phone call. So that kind of tells you everything you need to know.
Talk about Ryan
Or
Reynolds or
Ryan-
the kid.
The kid.
Yeah, they
Oh,
could.
okay.
Yeah, and Ryan's
in-
basking in dead.
If Sniper Elite ever becomes a thing, they better get Mark Wahlberg to be behind the actual rifle.
There you go.
I want to know who's going to be the funny mustache man that you assassinate. Who's going to play him?
Taika Waititi.
Okay.
You've done it once.
Here's one for you. Here's one for you, Hayden. So Avi Arad is apparently behind this one, and he says that the script is nearly finished.
I mean,
for the Metal Gear
if they
Solid.
stick to the game, Hayden, it could be
They
fucking
won't.
awesome.
No. You can't tell the story in a one movie. You can't. You won't be able to convey.
Well, no, maybe they'll focus on one area of the entire series and not cover the entire thing in one movie.
Snake's ass or Raiden's ass? Which one do you think they're gonna do if they focus on one thing?
They're probably gonna go Snake.
And then
Yeah.
my
No,
big
Raiden's
my big
kind
pro
of a
point
twink.
for Ghost of Tsushima is that Chad Stileski's attached. John Wick director. So,
or knowing them, they'll just put them both in the same movie.
And then the rest of these, we have Tomb Raider, Amazon with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Death
That's gonna be hot
Stranding,
garbage.
Kojima,
Oh, that's that one. I
884.
forgot about that cunt.
Norman Reedus better star in that one.
He will.
He has to. He
And
was in the
you
video.
know what?
game.
Here's the thing. Death Stranding could make a much better movie, I think, than it did a game. Like, don't get me wrong. It kind of tickles a certain part of your brain just delivering packages around. Like, that's kind of, there's something there. But if Kojima is involved, they might actually tell the story in a concise way that makes a better story than the game did.
I'm surprised they're not trying to make that one into a show.
No. You can tell that whole story concisely in a movie, and it would
Easily,
take
yeah.
out a lot of the fucking bullshit that I had problems with the game.
And then just a quick fire off the hip with the three of these. And Mortal Kombat 2, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and Mario 2, they're just kind of locked in the sort of general turning wheel of sequels. God of War TV, apparently that's in the casting process. Again, Fallout Season 2, that's pretty much in pre-production because they have all the sets and everyone in place for everything they needed, ready to go. Legend of Zelda, we've not heard much about that, just apart from the creator. And then Until Dawn, we had a cast announced from Sony. I think it was on Variety or Hollywood Reporter, I can't remember.
Now, let me ask you, are they going to cast Pedro Pascal and Jack Black in every single one of these? Because that'd be awesome.
Oh my God, please, for the love of heaven, no. I am so sick of seeing those fucking two.
If I see Pedro Pascal as Solid Snake, I will throw myself into a wood chipper.
I don't think I can bring myself to watch Gladiator 2.
Pedro
No, I
Pascal
can't.
will be Andrew. Was it Andrew Ryan from in Battle in fucking BioShock?
Oh my God. Well, and the funny part about the Gladiator 2 movie is they already told you the entire story in the first trailer. So like, why do you even need to go see the fucking movie at this point?
I think they should make Jack Black Psycho Mantis. That would be fun.
Oh,
Like he meets him and he's like,
fuck you for even saying that, dude.
He's like, I can read your memory card. Ooh, what have you been playing? You know?
Oh my God, that thing. Can
he
you
makes a
imagine?
stupid
Can you
face.
imagine them trying to squeeze Jack Black into the Psycho Mantis outfit?
I see you save your game a lot. Yeah.
Oh, you're a scum saver. Oh, okay.
What is Sifu? What is that?
Sifu was third person fighting game, kind of stylized.
Oh, okay.
Cell
Not
shaded.
into those games, probably why I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a movie announced. And then we have 3 from Sony. So we have Days Gone, Gravity Rush, and Uncharted 2. That's just Sony trying to capitalize on their gaming IPs.
They royally fucked up with the
not gonna get a
casting.
sequel either.
Wahlberg and Tom.
I'm pretty sure.
I do have a question,
Yeah.
Norman.
Their stories are
Mhm.
so-
I'm sorry. Nagranal, go on with what we were saying.
No, I'm
You're
good.
very low.
You're good.
Your question, Monty.
Yeah, I have a question. So, Return to Silent Hill, is that going to be something different, or is that supposedly supposed to be the third version of those other 2 Silent Hill films?
So
that
apparently it's
like
sequel
the-
to the first one, and they're just calling it. It's meant to be based off the second game, and they're
Yeah.
calling it to Return to Silent Hill.
But
And apparently,
Revelations
from what I've
was-
seen, that it's pretty much finished.
So, did they get Rhoda Mitchell, Sean Bean, the little whiny bitch back?
I'm not sure.
I mean, if it's based on the second game, it's not going to
Nope,
be the
it's
same
all
characters.
different people, but they're returned.
Because the first and third Silent Hills, which is like the second movie, is basically the third game. First and third are connected, and the second and fourth are connected.
And then, no idea what they'd make a movie about, but this is coming from Wayfarer Studios.
Pac-Man was one of the ones that Nerd Wars listed as being part of secret levels.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So that's just going to
Yeah,
be like
okay.
a 30, 40-minute thing.
They're gonna have
Produced
a
by Adam
problem with
Sandler.
Stray, I think, though.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah, who do we want as Duke Nukem? I was saying that if Bruce Campbell was younger, I would choose him.
Oh yeah, he would be
Dude,
a
I want- no.
great Duke Nukem.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Bring it back.
Well, speaking
serious
of Van
answer. Serious answer. If he wasn't like a smooth brain, I would say Alan Rickman with that flat top, but he could probably pull it off.
Oh yeah.
Rickman?
Yeah, but
He's dead.
Yeah, Alan
No,
Rickman's
not
dead.
Alan.
Richin.
Richardson, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I was like, well, I guess you could call him a smooth brain, but I'm call him a rotted
Yeah, I
brain.
was like, what? How was he?
Oh, sorry, I got that. I got my eye on that Hans Gruber Advent calendar coming up since we're going into the holiday season.
Yeah.
Who's got the swagger to play Duke Nukem? Like, seriously.
You have to be like
They
funny
even make
and,
a game like that nowadays.
and buff, you
For a
know.
movie?
Yeah, you got to be
He's
jacked
like,
for that one.
he's like the
Well, fuckers can get
pinnacle of
buff, but it's like,
masculinity.
who can deliver those corny ass lines like Roddy Piper did and They Live?
I mean,
Could-
Cena did
could-
Peacemaker. Peacemaker.
Could
Was it
Liam
Peacemaker?
Hemsworth do it?
No, Nathan Fillion needs to be in freaking
he's not.
Uncharted.
yeah.
He would have been a much better choice.
Yeah, he should have been Drake.
Nathan Fillion.
I
is
don't
too old
know.
to play
Duke Nukem,
now.
they just have to be built a certain way, you know. 'cause-
Well, I mean,
Oh, yeah,
that's
it's
why
not hard to
Liam
do the
or
voice.
Hemsworth.
Oh,
Chris
well,
Pratt.
of course, he's in everything.
Alan
Yeah.
Richardson.
Shake it, baby.
Brad,
Definitely
no, I
do.
don't.
I
I
can
can
see
see
it.
Chris
him.
Pratt and everything.
No, he's not serious. I mean, Duke Nukem's not like a serious game, but he's still like, I don't know, he's a badass. I don't see.
The guy who played the Russian in the Punisher. Yeah,
But he
probably.
can
Dude,
stop the
yeah.
Velociraptor.
Duke
That was,
Nukem in Duke
the
Nukem
wrestler.
3D literally tore off the head of one of the bosses and shit down its neck. All right.
Yeah,
All right, he's a
He
badass.
He says
It's
it
not up for
in the
debate.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's a great game.
And then
So we just
to
get
run through the
a
rest
pro
of these.
wrestler who hasn't been naked on stage.
Just
That
to run
rules
through the
out
rest
John
of these,
Cena.
we have the Assassin's Creed partnership with Netflix, some sort of live action, maybe movie. Oh no, I think it was live action series actually, and animated, multiple animated series apparently.
Dude,
Then we had-
Assassin's Creed has a great story that you could just
Wait,
follow. I don't
absolutely.
know how they screwed
Oh,
the
yeah.
first movie up.
I've got Duke Nukem. It just hit
Mhm.
my brain, like just ran into me like a train. Vince McMahon, baby.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
probably. Especially
Well-
when you're at a strip club.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, he would be perfect for that. Oh god. Carl Urban, that would be the worst.
Ooh,
He
Then
can
we
play
have-
anything.
Carl Urban.
Yeah, Carl Urban. A couple of years. Well, yeah.
Okay,
Then we
that
have
one's
the-
filming. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say we have the Devil May Cry series next. It comes from the same creator and in the same universe as Castlevania.
Dude,
It'll
nobody
be
can be
animated?
Dante. I can't think of a single person who could be Dante.
This would be animated, right? There's no live action
Animated, yeah.
Castlevania. Yeah.
Oh, isn't the Castlevania one that's already there? That's live action. I saw
No, it's
Ethan
animated.
talking about it like a couple
No,
weeks ago.
it's animated.
It's animated.
Yeah, it's animated.
Yeah,
Is it anime? Is it
one
Western
somewhere around
anime or
there,
is it
but-
anime? I thought it was anime. but-
There's
It's,
already
it's
been-
anime style, but it's
I would
it's
say
Western anime.
Netflix may.
Yeah,
That could be all right.
which
Yeah, at least
I
it's not
thought
live action.
it was pretty good. I liked it.
Did you?
Towards like the first couple seasons, I would say, and then
Yeah,
it
the
started to
recent
drop
seasons
off.
are woke. Yeah.
And then the last couple we've kind of already talked about The Sims, Uncharted 2, Sifu, and then last but not least, Watch Dogs has just finished filming and is on the way to editing and things and whatnot.
That one could be good. We'll see.
So can you read out the top cast of Watch Dogs and the director
Let's find out.
if you
Oh,
have
yeah.
it? If filming is complete, then all that shit's announced and like set in stone.
Here, I'll go ahead and put this up for now while you search for that.
Mm-hmm.
Please just
The-
don't touch Metal Gear. Don't ruin my favorite fucking
Nerd
game.
Wars, was Mass Effect part of Secret Levels, or is that a standalone thing that was never going to happen? Probably. Because I don't know, Mass Effect could be really cool.
Wait, Nerd Wars?
I agree
Sorry.
with you, Sophie.
Yeah, Nerd Wars in chat. He pulled up the
Oh, okay,
list.
okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said the
don't
correct
wanna-
one
I
this
don't want him
time.
messing with Dante.
Just making sure. Just making sure.
Arcane season 2, I think people are already pretty excited for.
I
Yeah.
want to watch
Yeah.
Arcane season 1. I haven't ever
Mhm.
watched it.
It's
but-
it's
It's
good.
pretty good. My wife and I really enjoyed it. I know she's excited for season 2. So
Yeah, I'm excited.
yeah. It's pretty good. And that's gonna be the last one too. It's that they said that's gonna be the end of it too. It's supposed to be its final season.
Really?
Is this Stray? As in Stray is the cat game?
yeah, the cat
Yeah.
game.
Yep,
No
straight the cat.
shit.
Yeah, didn't they all?
Yeah,
Are you
leak
fucking
that's
that?
serious? It
awesome.
really is.
They also mentioned that the dev studio that made Stray, well,
They
let's
all rage
just say
quit.
that, yeah,
That was
Yeah.
Wait, what wasn't okay? What wasn't that the one that just came out as Seth Rogen? Strays?
Stray?
The
No,
animated
no.
Pet movie?
No, that's something else.
That's more Curse.
I know
and
what you're
Jack Black.
talking about, though.
I actually have that pulled up.
Can you imagine that? Seth Rogen
What?
plays a stray.
All employees of Annapurna Interactive, which is the game developer side, they wanted to break off from the parent company and just like do their own thing, but still operate under the parent company. And I guess the director got into a huge fight with the CEO, and the director quit, and every single employee that worked under him quit with him in solidarity.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And people were worried about Control 2 not happening since they were funding it. I guess they're like huge investors of it, but they've assured that the CEO said that they're still going to be funding that.
So I have your two leads. I don't have anything else in the rest of the cast. It's kind of under
Okay.
wraps.
I mean, that's the meat of it, probably.
We have Tom Blythe, whoever the hell this guy is. Here's a quick look. This guy, yep, no idea.
Tom Blythe. I don't know who that is either. I don't know. I'm
Vaguely
actually okay with
familiar.
having like no-name actors.
Yeah, I mean,
I would prefer they do that.
Yeah.
That picture they just did, that's the android from Alien Romulus. He's taking a picture with him, so maybe he was a bit part in Alien Romulus.
And then this woman here, Sophie Wilde, no idea. Again, up and coming.
Wait, and this is
She
in
looks
what?
familiar.
Fuck. Talk to Me. That horror
No,
movie
no.
from the Australian guy.
Oh,
Those two
Okay.
Australian YouTubers that made Talk to Me. She's the main character.
Oh, yeah, there she
you
is.
go.
I saw her.
Wait, so what game movie / show was that supposed to be from?
Watch Dogs, and it's just finished filming, so
Okay.
expect to see it in the next year or so, I imagine.
Yep.
Depending on how editing goes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
Tom Blythe was in a recent Hunger Game movie, so that poor man. That poor man. Holy shit.
Yep. Did
See,
you guys have anything else to add about the game list?
Don't touch Metal Gear. It will cause me severe mental problems. Please don't touch it. Please leave it alone.
Well, they're gonna touch it.
I hope they touch it deep.
Oh
No,
Deep within
no, we
your
don't
head.
want that. Just play the games, play all the games. You get an amazing story. You get a lot of fun gameplay. Like the voice acting in it. David Hayter does a fantastic job. So do many of the other voice actors. Like it's perfect the way it is. Don't fucking touch it.
Oh, don't ruin Jen Sakai for me. Yeah. I mean, Chad Stahelski attached is a good thing. It kind of makes me think he maybe played the game while he was filming something, in his downtime. And he's like, yeah, I want to direct a movie about this. Let's see what Sony's saying.
I kind of want them to do that now because look what they did to my Lord of the Rings. Look what they've done to my Star Wars. Now
No.
y'all, no, turnabout is fair play. Now it's time for y'all to suffer.
I'm a Lord of the Rings and Star Wars
I'm a
fan
Star Wars
too.
fan.
Don't make me suffer.
Multi, Doctor freaking who? You got nothing, bro. You got nothing. All right.
Hayden, just look away.
You have
It's
not
gonna
seen
happen.
what I have seen, Multi.
I don't want it.
Well, I mean,
Just look away.
anything that's coming from Amazon, you can almost basically put a pin in it and go, this is going to fucking suck. Which I think is one of the reasons why we're having issues with the Warhammer 40K series, because I think there are certain roads that Games Workshop is willing to walk down. I think there's other ones that Amazon's Sarkeesian, that fucking crazy bitch that's in charge of the MGM studios over there. I think she wants to go farther. And
that
I'd
bitch has
imagine.
ruined everything.
Yes, she has. And I'd imagine that's probably where, because we should have heard something announced by now. They're getting this close to the end of December. If they had some sealed the deal that was done and ready to go and everybody was happy, this shit would have already been announced. But I don't think we're going to see. I don't know if they're going to go that far or not, because I honestly believe I believe the female custodies thing they introduced was testing the waters for that kind of thing. I think the them that is introduced into Warhammer Fantasy, I think all of these are testing grounds to see how much they can get away with that kind of thing. And yeah. Oh yeah, I did a video over this today. This was
I just wanted
great.
to bring this up since you're talking about it.
Yeah.
I saw you and Nerdwars talk about it. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 developer admits games at Embracer made him want to cry with their overblown attempts at messaging or imposing morals on gamers. And if you go into the article, he's like, I just wanted to make a cool ass game.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wanted to do. He's like, this makes us feel like we were making games back in the day. That's what I wanted. I wanted to give you the Halo feel with this game is what he was going for. And they pulled it off. Like, you feel like a Space Marine when you're playing that game. You're big, you're clunky, you're stomping around, you're smashing Xenos. You know, you can't jump very high because obviously you're wearing all this giant fucking armor and shit, but you get your jump packs and you get everything else. And it's the game's an absolute blast.
The jump packs were the best missions in the game. The ground pound. I was just not.
Oh yeah, that ground pound is wicked. Yeah, that ground pound is wicked.
I will say that it definitely played like a 360 game. Like in terms of the combat, it kind of felt like it was from that era. Like you're not. The game looks good, and there were some amazing cutscenes, like proper animated movie grade cutscenes. But in terms of that, in terms of the rest of the graphics, like it wasn't a spectacle, but it was good. Like I said, we're not after amazing graphics. We're after really solid, really fun gameplay.
No, my favorite thing is to execute the freaking Xenos and everybody else. Like that's the coolest fucking mechanic. Just watch them explode. Like it's fucking great.
Since we're talking about Warhammer, Darktide got a rating in Taiwan for PlayStation 5, which means they're trying to release it on PlayStation 5. So they're trying to branch out with their older games too. And Darktide's a great game, by the way.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Darktide. That one's a lot of fun. I played the Vermintide one as well. But and Space Hulk was a lot of fun too. It's just kind of a little repetitive, but Space Hulk's a lot of fun because you could actually play as like a psyker in that one and shit like that. It's pretty fucking dope. But because I think that's the other thing too, is I think it'll be really curious to see where Games Workshop's stance is in a year from today. Right, because you've just had you've had just a huge, massive success. Space Marine 2 is the number1 most played game of all the Warhammer 40K video games of all time on the Steam lists, right? And by it wasn't like just by a little bit. It was like literally 100,000 more people were playing this than any other Warhammer 40K video game that has ever come out.
Well, yeah, and the example, like I don't know anything about Warhammer 40K. They've captured the normies. Simple as that.
Yes, absolutely. Because that's what a lot of this is a great introduction. If you know nothing about Warhammer 40K, this is a great introduction. So the real question is going to be, is Games Workshop going to go, hey, that works, everybody loves it, or are we going to be down for the agenda and the next video game that we're going to pump out is going to be nothing about female custodies? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be very curious to see how that goes. And I do believe that Henry Cavill will walk away from his dream project before he capitulates to these kind of requests. Because he already did that once. Yeah, and he already did that with The Witcher. I don't think he's going to go through that again. I really don't. He's got too much other stuff going on. He's still popular in a lot of other series. He's got plenty of other things going on out there.
He's a family man now.
Yeah, he's got him and his girl have got their first baby on the way, you know? And so it's one of those things. It's like, he's got plenty of other things to do that he can easily walk away with this and just continue painting his models and continue building his PCs. You know, he doesn't need this. He wants it. It's his dream come true. But he'll walk. I firmly believe he'll walk away before he lets any of the kind of woke stuff infect it. And if I'm wrong, well, then Henry Cavill's gonna get his fucking ass roasted by me personally.
I did see a meme the other day. It was like, he's got the wife, he's got the kid, he owns a meat smoker, he's a PC gamer. Henry Cavill really is for the boys.
But yeah, he is. Yeah, he's one of us.
And he cooks his steak medium rare.
Know that.
Yeah.
See, there you go. Like a smart man.
That's why he's Superman.
Yeah, that's exactly why he's Superman.
Isaac is seething right now.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, that is great. Yeah, I've always been a Henry Cavill simp. Like I love watching his stuff because he's one of us, you know, and I think that's what makes him so popular in the nerd community. Yeah, see, exactly, chronicling. That's what makes us so popular in the nerd community, because we recognize the authenticity. We know he's not gaslighting us. We know he's not bullshitting us. We're like the people involved in the Acolyte. Oh yeah, I've always thought Star Wars is gay. Aren't the droids gay? Yada yada yada. Like any nerd worth their salt can see right through that bullshit, and we all just blow them out of the water. With Henry, it's never been like that. We've always known he's one of us, and that's why everybody fucking loves the guy. So yeah, I think he'll walk away before he lets Warhammer 40K get made woke by Amazon. And if Henry Cavill walks away, trust me, that fucking, it don't care. It doesn't matter who you replace him with. All of the fans are going to know, and they are going to understand, and they are going to walk right the fuck away from him because they're going to go, I ain't going through the fucking Witcher again. I'm not doing that shit again.
That's what I was going to say. Cavill did hang on till last breath, basically, of The Witcher.
Yeah.
So
he tried.
I don't know if he'd do it
till the end
again
of his contract.
Right, but I mean, I don't know if he'd try to hang on to something because he loves it again to try to fight for it, or if he would walk away.
Well, because he already went through those fights on Witcher, I don't think he wants to go back through it again because he did that. We heard all that stuff from the inside, from behind the scenes, talking about how he was the one out there. He was pushing for stuff to be more accurate. How he didn't think Geralt would do certain things, and guess what? It pissed off all of the executives over there that were not necessarily executives at Netflix, but all of the producers of that show because that's not the direction they wanted to go in. And yeah, when he got his chance to exit, because he was back there fighting, he was trying to get things more accurate. And apparently a lot of the only really good scenes we got from that series were specifically because he was like, look, Geralt wouldn't do that. All right. That's not how this would go. And that pissed him all off. Yeah. So yeah, especially in season 1. Yeah. So I honestly think, like I said, I don't think he wants to go through that again. It's too much stress. It's too much bullshit. Like you said, he's got a baby on the way. He's got a family. He's got, he's still got like the Enola Holmes thing going with Netflix right now. Like the guy's good. He's got plenty of stuff to do. So I don't think he'd be willing to go through that headache.
Correct me if I'm wrong though. His girlfriend / wife, the woman pregnant with his child,
she's his agent.
Also, yeah, okay. So she's his agent. All right.
Yeah, she was one. That was part of the announcement. He flat out came out and said it was her and their production company that negotiated the deal, and that she, that's why he's the executive producer and he's supposed to star and he's supposed to essentially have control over this. And if he does end up having control over it, if he really is in charge, then it could end up being good. But if his control only goes so far as that MGM Studios head, Sarkozy will fucking let it, then yeah, it's not going to fucking happen. It's not, you're going to see him leave before any of that kind of stuff. Because she did that. That was the only reason.
Because you have Robert Downey Jr. and Susan Downey. They're quite a powerhouse when they're working on whatever movie they are.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so he can make a hell of an argument to just fucking walk away, and it'll end up. And if Amazon tries to go forward without him, by all means, enjoy burning another $1 billion, just like you have on Rings of Power, because you've got the most popular tabletop RPG, and I mean something that people have that spend big money on this. All right, Warhammer 40K, the tabletop is not a cheap hobby to get into.
No,
okay, not by a long shot.
If he gets ejected, it's going to be a ripple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it'll affect everything because that'll show the Games Workshop would rather side with the cult than their fans, and that's going to piss off a lot of people. Hey, guess what? 3D printer go brrr.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like I've got a bunch of Drukhari figures for Warhammer, right? Like I'm a Drukhari player, but like I stopped buying because Games Workshop has already alienated like half of their fan base. And a lot of people stopped buying, stopped playing, stopped doing anything.
Yeah, it's one of my little Dark Angels guys. So I still have never got around to painting these guys. One of these guys, I've got a bunch of stuff I've got to put together and everything.
So you've been 3D printing those?
No, this was all stuff before all the female.
Gotcha.
This is all stuff I bought before all the female. I literally still have. I have an unopened box of the starter kit for 10th edition, because I want to actually have a place to play and all of that kind of stuff. So as soon as my washer and dryer are fixed out in the garage, I'll be able to organize a lot of this stuff and get things moved around. And I'm actually want to build a table over here so we can do like a hey, this is how you play 10th edition kind of fucking series and shit like that.
That's badass.
Yeah, so that's kind of one of the plans.
You know what? Let me just say real quick, as a Drukhari player, just for any of you in chat that or anybody on the panel that doesn't know, the big controversy, Drukhari, haha. So for anybody who doesn't know, the problem is the Adeptus Custodes, they don't have any female units. Yeah, sure, they did once in the 80s and like that got booted because they didn't sell, right? But as a Drukhari player, the Drukhari are like, I would say maybe 70 to 80% female warriors. Most of my figures are female elves. The rest of them are a couple of male elves that are used as the fodder that end up dying.
Right.
And the powerful ones, though, they're all female. So it's not like female never existed in Warhammer. I
No.
play as one of the most heavily female classes.
You've literally got the Sisters of Battle, the nuns with guns. It's an all-female army. You know, that's literally what it is. But that's what the problem is. It's never been about actual representation. It's about getting in there and forcing their agenda. They want a female space marine because it will fuck everything up and it will piss off all of what they consider the right people. That's the only reason they want to do this shit. The goal is destruction. So, because otherwise, yeah, why not play Sisters of Battle? Why not play Drukhari? You know, why not play one of these other ones? Oh no, we've got to have a female space marine because representation has to be everywhere. Nah. Okay, we'll see what happens. We saw what happened with the gaming industry. So yeah, enjoy that. Enjoy trying that and see if your agenda was worth it. So, but yeah, I love the Warhammer 40K stuff, and that's the other thing about that. It's kind of like. It'll end up, if they do end up deciding to go down this path, it'll end up going the same way as D&D, right? Like my son's a big D&D fan. He plays games like every week with some of his friends and stuff like that. None of them are buying any of the new books from Wizards of the Coast. You know, the rules are already out there. They've already got their stuff. Everybody just plays homebrew campaigns, you know, and that'll go the same way with Warhammer 40K too. If they do the exact same thing, everybody will still have their models, everybody still have their stuff, and we'll just play on old rules, and nobody's going to buy your books and nobody's going to buy your codexes anymore, and that will ruin them. If people stop buying their models are what their bread and butter is, and if people stop buying their models, they are screwed. And I'm gonna be real curious to see how things go with that Custodes stuff if they decide not to retcon it. I'll be really curious to see how the sales are for the Custodes codexes and for those new models and everything else, because it will. And that's the other thing too, is that's what makes me wonder about Games Workshop, because they have no problem canceling stuff that doesn't sell. They have done that time and time again in the past. So like I said, it's going to be curious to see where they are in a year from now. So
yeah, for sure.
In the end, it doesn't even matter. Is that what you're trying to say?
I was trying to dissect that comment also. I'm like, I don't understand. They chose the wrong lead for it?
Yeah. They chose the all-female lead that blew up in their faces. Yeah. Oh my God. So it'll be curious to see where it goes, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Let's go ahead and do some outros.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Nerd Slap, what are you up to?
Oh, you know, just my usual streaming over on Kick. I've still got some stuff for the Nerd Files in the works. We've got a outline for the show now. We got some of the episodes planned out. We just got to record them, edit and post them. Hoping to get that done soon. And then actually tonight after this, a few of us are going to go live over on Kick and play some First Descendant. So make sure to tune on into that.
Sweet. Yeah, Norman had the idea of all of us playing some games on our streaming channels after this show, so we're gonna give that a shot. Norman.
Yeah, I'm jumping in first D after this, and then also fun weekend gaming. Adding Powerpuff Girls to Multiverses, so that's going to be a fun try. And I'm going to try out the new Helldivers 2 patch in a couple of days as well. But they're adding a lot of buffs. They're tripling the fire damage. The railgun fires like an actual railgun. There's a new orbital attack coming in. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Very good. Mo, what have you been up to? Besides moving.
It just sits in the back of my mind. I've been trying to get stuff going as much as I can, but this week is going to be hell. Like honestly,
just throw it all in the trash and get new stuff.
Trying to, but the wife keeps pulling it back out. Unfortunately, I have somebody else I have to consider their opinion. But yeah, no, it's first. Just trying to balance real world life and moving and streaming, and this week is going to be hell, but after that it's going to be completely worth it. I'm actually going to have a room that I can dedicate to stream from. I can hang stuff behind me, all my nerdy shit. It's like, so I'm looking forward to that, to do that proper. So that's going to be really fun. So anywho, what I'm not looking forward to is Thursday, because some sadistic bastard likes suggesting us to a horrible show on Amazon. So
What do you
What are
mean?
you
It's
talking
so
about?
much fun.
Don't you learn a lot from it?
I learned that I have a high capacity to not want to end myself in Minecraft. I have a will to live. So.
I mean, we all know
No,
it's
it's
Jess's
climate.
favorite show.
Yeah, it's climate changing in Pal World now. Okay.
Climate change, whatever it
Yeah.
is. Apparently, I have the mental stick-to-itiveness to not actually want to. I literally get up in the morning sometimes and I'm like, I cannot believe I watched that because Acolyte was enough. This is just too much.
Honestly, I get a
Anyways.
lot schadenfreude from the whole thing. It recharges my battery seeing that all caps chat when
So Nerd Wars brings up an excellent point. So we have our live stream, the Late and Gay, the same day that Agatha is dropping. So I think what we should do is watch one episode before the stream and one episode after, since they're dropping 2 in one day. At least we'll have something to talk about before, and then we can continue the fun after.
No.
Oh, that is
All right, let's get these outros going. All right,
And Jesse,
I gotta
You
go.
all you
I
want,
by
but
the
like
way.
you don't run the GCA, homie. I was about to say,
Yeah,
racial
Jesse, you
slur.
signed the contract, so that means you have to show up now also.
I didn't sign the contract.
Somebody better pay my alcohol bill.
That's what chat is for.
That's right. That's exactly what the chat is for. That's exactly what the chat is for.
just
Oh my
stream
god!
a
I
watch
I watched the first episode and I was just like, oh my god! Oh, it's so bad. It's
Hey,
so bad.
I technically own the Discord. All right, I'll burn it to the ground. Sons of bitches.
Yeah, we have spread our dominion on who owns which channels and stuff, or which platforms that we're on. It's like we've made sure that we've kept it out of ABF's hands.
Yes, I own the land. He owns the house, but he's paying rent. So, anyways, yeah, not looking forward to Thursday, but I'm kind of looking forward to Thursday because I love the all caps and everybody dying inside slowly. So
That's fair. That's fair.
that's all I got to say about that.
Well, everybody hates me in chat now, but Malty, you have no idea what that feels like being hated through chat, do you?
Bro, I have no fucking clue, and I took some advice that I heard from. I can't remember who it was because it was so many years ago that was just literally said, "Don't read the comments, good or bad. Just like put out your videos, and whatever happens with them, happen." If they pop off really good,
Robotic has there's been a couple people that said that.
yeah.
Dude,
But this was before I even found the 199. Like before 2017, 2016, 2015. Someone said that. I was like, no, the best thing you can do is don't read the chat. If your video pops off, go through your video and analyze what made it pop and then try to replicate that. But fuck the comments.
I love my comment section. That shit's hilarious. I have a standard like just cut and paste response to the trolls. I'm like, thanks for the comment. It really helps with the algorithm. Because it does.
It does.
And that I can just imagine that
is
just irritating the fuck out of them.
So shout out to Ryan. He made a Rising Star video about the GCA today. So
Yeah.
that was
Something
funny.
he did.
Nice.
I don't know.
He called us coalition, which I'm still not familiar with all these terms. I guess that's exactly what we are. And he's like, normally they break up after a while. We need to try to keep it together.
Hey, I wasn't mentioned in that video at all. I think it was recorded before I officially joined.
That might have been,
If you look at his, if you look at the thing that he was using, it was before. It was not recent. It was probably like a week
No,
ago.
the logo's old.
Yeah.
The backgrounds are old. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
just
the
barely
sub
old,
count
yeah.
was old. The videos that were on the main page were older. I mean, they're newer, but I put out like 7 or 8
Yeah,
within the
so it
last
was
week
right
and a
around
half.
that.
So.
But it's still very cool of him to do that, even though I called
Yeah,
him a
absolutely.
dollar
Oh,
store
awesome.
clearance bin Phil Collins, which is exactly what he looks like. I'm not taking that back. So.
Well,
he decided
burped in the
he
middle of
decided to
trying
take
shout
shots
us
at me
out,
on.
So like, fucking.
Well, he took shots at me in a stream, so Alec Baldwin's finger and I decided to team up on him on the hip. What did you say, ABF? You said British cuisine was.
No, I said I don't trust anyone that that enjoys British food or something like that.
That's
Oh, well. Like
Those
who
kind of
actually
toast,
enjoys
man.
it?
Beans and toast.
Yeah. Beans and toast. Get out of here.
You have not lived until you've been hungover and had beans on toast. Just saying.
No, we have real food over here. So like we
I'm
have
gonna go get
biscuits
a
and
taco.
gravy and sausage.
Norman,
and
you're just
You know,
drunk the next
there's
day
a
still.
war on. All right, there's a war on. It was happening a few years back. You know,
it
You know what's
never
a
ended.
better
Couple
version
of
of beef
generations back.
is shit on a shingle that actually has meat on it. It's literally
Yeah.
the
It's not bad actually. That's pretty good.
hey, we have
Gosh, that
tripe.
feels great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we did shit on a shingle in like the Civil War. And then like 100 years
Lord.
later, you guys couldn't find any meat to put on your fucking toast.
They did. It's eel. They're just disgusting people.
Oh, that's so nasty.
Oh yeah, I love this meme where the British literally started wars over spices and they still don't use them.
Yeah. We just keep them in the cabinet to look at, just a reminder of our conquests. You know.
Yeah. God forbid you pull any of that off and just, you know.
Well, Hayden, what do you got going on?
Yeah, so at some point I'll make another video. Like I said earlier tonight, I've got one that's doing okay right now. People are enjoying watching me tying in Concord and not DEI, but something worse. You can find that
Watch
on
it,
my
Conway.
channel at Hayden Wayne 75, and I'm gonna be trying to make another one here sometime soon. I just got to find the time to do it. Work is a wild situation to have to deal with, but you know, we'll get there when we get there. Videos are coming out every once in a while at this point, but yeah, happy to be here. It was a lot of fun, guys, as always, and thanks for having me again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pleasure
Thanks
to
for
see
coming
you.
on.
Yeah. Sophie, malt vinegar on fries / chips are amazing. You need to try it. You're
Yes.
Fuck off.
fucking
No.
amazing.
I put a little splash of vinegar
Dude,
in
it's
my
malt
eggs.
vinegar on fries is so good. It's
It is.
unbelievable.
Okay,
is.
on fish and chips, on the fish portion, it's depending on what kind of fish you're frying too. But yeah, just a little touch. But like on fries,
Yeah.
no,
Oh.
that's way too acidic.
That's great on fries.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Mo, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I should say it. You must eat out your wife after she came home from the gym without sweating. I mean, without showering.
Shots
You're used to
fired.
Yeah, damn.
Oh, fuck.
Woo!
Wow.
You need to go to bed, sir. My
You're gonna
goodness.
go down there and sniff that. He's like, no, honey, you need to go excercise some more. It's not quite ripe enough yet.
I've been married almost 20 years.
We'll
You
do
guys
more
shut the
yoga,
hell up. Yeah,
okay?
you already know. So I'll leave it there.
You offended Sophie.
I love that.
What, sour puss? Or
Holy shit.
What a way to
I did.
There you go.
Wow. Now that clip that Angry Badger plays all the time doesn't seem so salty. Woo!
Well, here, before we do Nagrinal's outro, here's a little clip that Sophie made.
No,
They're gonna
man.
touch it.
I hope they touch it deep.
Oh
No, no,
Deep with
no.
They're gonna touch it.
I hope they touch it deep. I love it. Good job, Sophie. That's great. Oh,
That's pretty
Nagrinal,
good.
are you gonna touch it?
No. But
That was your
I don't
segue.
know. Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably stream sometime soon. I don't know. If you guys need a fourth, maybe I'll hop on. And that's about it. Follow me on YouTube and Kick.
Can you do your outro with a little bit of enthusiasm?
I'm so tired right now.
Oh man.
Nagradol never does anything with enthusiasm unless he's breaking something.
He's drinking Irish whiskey straight out of a bottle while he rubs calamine lotion all over his body. All right, it's not a good time right now.
Bring your chair back up a few notches and sit up. Sheesh.
My camera's not even on. How can you tell where I'm sitting?
I could just tell.
I'm literally sitting in the same position that I'm always sitting in.
Oh my god.
Well, Norman, myself, and possibly Nerd Slap and Nagrinal are going to be playing some video games on our Kick channels later.
Yep.
Yes,
so
sir.
feel free to come over and check us out there. Phantom's been dropping some links, and so has Nagrinal. But yeah, other than that, next week, same
No.
time, same
Jesse's
place.
outro.
I was gonna say, do I get to do an outro?
Did we skip you for some
Yeah,
reason?
you skipped Jesse. I thought you were saving him for last, and then you were just like, "Oh, we're
Yeah.
closing the show. Fuck off, Jesse."
Well,
I'm like, all right.
Malty did really just take the train and drove it right off the tracks into the embankment. Like,
Well, I mean, you kind of deserve
that
it,
was
Mo.
shocking. So
I just,
no, if
my wife just caught a huge stray. She just caught a 50 cal. Like, she's
Common Nerd, please give your outro. Also, if you're not subbed to him, you guys need to sub. Get over to his Rumble channel and his YouTube channel, which he finally got monetized and remade because he got screwed over.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, boys and girls, I'm Jesse with the Common Nerd. I bring you pop culture and all things nerdy through a common sense lens. I live stream Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. for the morning prep, where we go over all your pop culture and nerd news, covering all the kind of stuff that's out there, gaming, all of that kind of fun stuff. We cover a lot of that all of there. You guys can get to watch me come cut videos live and hear your comments read out loud. You guys get to the previews of everything that goes out there as actual former content, stuff like that. Producing content. I've got the gaming channel as well, the Common Nerd Gaming. I've got videos over there blowing up right now. I've got a new channel, the Common Nerd 2, which, because the algorithm has dicked with me so hard on the primary channel, we're going to be putting a little bit more of our like 8 to 10 minute kind of content over on that channel as well. But yes, come follow me on Rumble. That's where you get to see all the fun stuff. At Fridays, we do $5 Fridays, where you guys get to decide how long my butt stays in the chair. Shout out to Alec Bolton's finger for helping out with some of our crazy ass streams with all of that kind of stuff out there. So yeah, let's see. We're fundraising for San Antonio right now. So if you want to torture me and abuse me and make Common Nerd dance for you for longer than my normal show does, come check us out on Fridays. Friday night shop. We have we have Clobby's Clubhouse. We changed the name. It's Clobby's Clubhouse Comic Shop Talk over on 32 Flavors and Nick Weiser channel. That show's absolutely wonderful. Sundays, 2 p.m. is the Bible study, and Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can join us for a Win Who Was Good, a watch along and review. That show is absolutely a lot of fun. And yeah, I got video content coming out all the time. Keep that notification bell. Come subscribe. Come become a member. This is my full-time job, and I got a sixth kid on the way. I got people to feed. So come check out all that kind of wonderful stuff out there as well. So this has been a blast. I'm glad I was able to make this. I love hanging out with you guys, Mo and Al, ABF, and all you guys, especially for those of you that I got to stream with for the first time tonight. This has been a blast. And all of you out there in the chat have been fabulous. I'm sorry when I'm on panel shows, I don't get a chance to talk to you guys as much. But if you do want to talk with me more one-on-one, definitely come hang out for the morning prep, because that's where I sit down and I literally, there's a reason why those streams go so long sometimes. Mostly is because we're having great conversations with the chat. So definitely come check that out. So thanks for having me, boys and girls. This has been a blast. Mostly girls. I'm talking about Mo. But other than that, this has been fabulous. This has been
Pleasure
fabulous.
to meet you, Common Nerd.
You too, Norman Conquest. I love your little Batman symbol in the back too.
Yeah.
That is fucking great. Dude.
Fished it out a couple of weeks ago.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Now,
Yeah, I'm a
your
DC
$5
fanboy.
Fridays, what's the longest that you've had to endure in that chair?
So the record is 3 a.m. The show starts at 11 a.m. and I went till
Holy
3. So we literally went for 15 hours one time.
Crazy.
I'm waiting to see if we ever hit a 24-hour stream, because I've done 24-hour streams in the past, and we have a lot of fun with them and stuff like that. I don't know. The 3 a.m. record, I'm not sure we're ever going to beat. One of my mods is like, okay, so I think it's like 8 a.m. my time is like midnight on the last Friday is somewhere in the world. It's like the very last time zone. He's like, we got to see if we can make that. So it'll literally be the $5 Fridays all the way to the end. No, I do bathroom breaks. I have a BRB screen for all of that, because I drink a lot of water because I talk a lot, right? And I talk loud. So I have to drink a lot of water constantly. And I'm also am out in my garage. So there's no air conditioning out here. So it's hot. You know, I live in South Texas. It gets fucking hot out here. So yeah, no, I have to do constant bathroom breaks. I mean, it's about once an hour or so. So you guys get a cool little BRB screen and talk to each other for a moment, but I always come right back. So yeah. Yep. I personally blame Return of the King for the fact that I have to pee so often, because I literally thought that I kept thinking that movie was going to end. And so I kept holding it, and that movie just kept fucking going. By the time I got to the bathroom, literally I had to stand there for a minute to even get my bladder to finally unclench. So I'm pretty sure that's what did it to me. So yeah, it's fucking great though. But yeah, this has been a blast. Thanks for having me, guys. This is a lot of fun.
It's great to meet
Yeah,
you.
thanks for coming on.
yeah.
Did I
it's
miss
fun,
anybody?
man.
No, that is everything.
Now we're good.
You good?
I
Now we got it.
apologize.
All right, ABF, now you can do your outro. You can do yours now.
Safe to say this has been your most documented miss.
Hey, we came back around and hit the target, so it's not a miss. It's all right. It's all right. But no, everyone, thanks for stopping by. We do have GCA merch on the GCA channel now through our Teespring store. Nagarnal can drop a link. There we go. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Hey, the truck looks kind of small there, Anton.
This is live. I'm on live TV. Trunk's fine. As you can see, friend, it's not small. It's a big trunk. I'll show you right here.
Well, you got a dead hooker in the trunk.
What? No, it can't be.
Yes, it was. It was a dead hooker.
It wasn't a dead hooker!
Pal, I know a dead hooker when I see one.